200 years ago, a war that swept across the 21st round broke out. Purple light tore through the heavens, and pillars of light fell like spiritual swords. This long and devastating war was started by Demon King Papias. Beneath the setting sun, shattered banners covered Lion Mountain, while crows circled overhead. Piles of bones rose like hills, silently testifying to the slaughter. Papias lowered his head. A bloody hole pierced straight through his chest. "This is impossible." The hero stepped forward. "This is the 7th time, isn't it?" He opened his palm, revealing a beating heart in it. Blood splashed across his clothes. Papias clenched his fist. "Don't get cocky. It's not over yet." The hero's pupils shrank. "Another one? How many hearts do you have?" Papias bared his fangs. "I am the king of curses, Demon King Papias. Remember those words, hero. At the happiest moment of your life, the curse will descend." A purple third eye opened on his forehead, flashing with an ominous light. He roared, "I'll come back and take everything from you." The hero sighed. "You've said that line 5 times already. It's getting old." "Whatever." Papias' body finally exploded completely, turning into a mist of blood. The hero had won. Holding that heart in his hand, he watched as a green portal slowly opened behind him. "Thanks to you, we're saved." Inside the portal stood a smiling blonde man. He was the god of the 21st round. "You truly are different from the other heroes. Bound by the rules, I couldn't destroy the Demon King myself." And he was no weakling. Memories flashed through his mind. Failed heroes collapsing in pools of blood. "To be honest, I thought you would fail too. But in the end, you did it." The god watched Papias' remains turn to black smoke and scatter across the barren land. The hero lowered his eyes. "So our contract is over now?" The god spread his arms. "Oh, hero Duran, do you think it ends like this? Of course there's still a reward." He raised both hands high, golden light blooming around him. "O hero who defeated the Demon King, as thanks, I shall grant any wish you desire. Everything is ready. Speak your wish." The hero remained silent, his robe whipping loudly in the wind. He raised his gaze. "My wish is to open a fried chicken shop. The law of fried chicken convergence. Whether humanities or science, whatever career path you choose, your final destination is opening a fried chicken shop." Countless silhouettes cheered as they climbed a mountain of golden fried chicken. Fried chicken is victory. The sign on the shop door flipped at once from closed to open. This law spared not even the hero. The hero looked up at the sky, eyes resolute. "Fine, then I'll start over from the beginning." A person stared at the sign in front of him, confused. "Did I remember wrong?" "Yes, Waluth. Last week." This was definitely, Martin said firmly, a portal, a passage connected to another dimension. Disasters from D rank to SS rank. A dark vortex twisted in the sky, and monsters poured out from it. Dragons breathed flames and scorched the earth. But now there stood a fried chicken shop. The sign read, "Hero Fried Chicken." The two hunters stood in the distance in disbelief. "A fried chicken shop?" Ella's eyes widened. "Who cleared it?" Martin's face darkened. "How is that possible? That was an A-rank portal. There's only one worst-case possibility: mutation. If a portal is left unattended too long, this kind of illusion phenomenon can appear." He frowned tightly. "If this keeps going, the losses will exceed expectations." Ella tightened her grip on her sword. "There's no other choice. We'll have to do it ourselves." Martin ignited flames in one hand. "Let's go. Stay alert." The two charged forward. With one kick, they blasted the front door open. "Come at us, you bastards." But what they found was people inside, casually eating. What they had just done looked like an absurd farce. No matter how they looked at it, this was just an ordinary fried chicken shop. Ella muttered, "Is this really an illusion? It's way too realistic." Martin rushed forward. "You won't fool my eyes." Flames ignited in his palm again as he threw a punch. "Die Monster!" But he was sent flying by a single punch and crashed heavily to the ground. The hero clenched his fist and asked, "Welcome. Do you two need a table?" The two sat down with surprising ease, as though the commotion had never happened. Ella looked around. Has someone already cleared the portal? She laughed and smacked Martin. "Haha, you should have said so earlier. But why open a shop in a hellhole like this?" "We'll take 2 orders of spicy fried chicken." The hero said, "Customers, the fried chicken here is very good." Both of them laughed at once. Martin's pupils widened. Could this be a 4th-generation fried chicken specialty shop? Ella picked up the menu. "Looks like they only sell fried chicken here." Then 2 fried chickens. The hero brought down his knife and chopped the chicken pieces. The chicken dropped into the oil with a sizzling hiss. The hero served them. 2 orders of fried chicken. Ella and Martin stared at the food in shock. That was way too fast. 5 seconds? 6? Is it even cooked? The two picked up a piece of fried chicken with some concern. They took a bite. A crisp crunch rang out. Their eyes flew wide open. Ella raised the chicken high. "It's so good." Martin's face turned red. "Overwhelmingly delicious. We really struck gold." The two apologized to everyone around them. "We're really sorry about earlier." The others waved it off. "It's fine. We were the same yesterday." And just like that, the hero's fried chicken shop flourished. This shop, opened in a dangerous area where portals appeared frequently, became an oasis in the desert for hunters. The hero busied himself, serving a steady stream of customers. And so, through the repetition of daily business, Ella and Martin became regulars. After a long battle lasting 200 years, my emotions had already dulled. But in this day-to-day busyness, I felt a trace of long-forgotten happiness. However, only 2 weeks after opening, Hero Fried Chicken went bankrupt. The hero covered his face in agony. Where did it go wrong? Was it the food? No, the food wasn't the problem. The meat here is the best. His gaze shifted. It must be. He stood and looked outside. Could it be because of that? A grand Chinese-style building stood there. The sign read, Hell Fried Chicken. A long line stretched outside. Hero Fried Chicken had only been open for 2 weeks, and already a nemesis for the ages had appeared. Inflatable dolls twisted beside loudspeakers. "Come on in. Come right now." 2 acrobats flipped through the air. "Buy 1 fried chicken. Get 2 free." The hero stared at the crowd. "Wait, those 2 are..." No way. Ella and Martin were standing in line across the street. Ella sighed in admiration. These people wouldn't look out of place even inside a dungeon. Their costumes are amazing. The hero pressed his face against the glass window, features warped by the pressure. No way. Those 2 had once said firmly, "Boss, trust us. We'll come every day from now on." The hero gripped his apron tightly with both hands. "I can't take this." He ripped off the apron and threw it onto the table. "I'm definitely exposing your scheme." A demon clerk stretched out a hand. "Customer number 444, please come in." The hero walked in expressionlessly. His pupils contracted in the purple light. Heads bobbed in the dance floor. Screams rose and fell. "This is really a fried chicken shop?" The reveling crowd raised their chicken baskets and swayed with the music. A demon server walked up to the hero. "Sir, is your seat comfortable? Would you like to order?" The hero pointed to the dance floor. "I'll have whatever they're having." The demon clerk wrote it on the menu. "Certainly. 1 order of Hellfire New York Fried Chicken." 4 hours later, the demon clerk approached with a tray. "Sorry for the wait." "Enjoy." The hero complained. Did they raise the chicken from the egg or something? He speared a piece of fried chicken. "Do I really have to eat this? Mine is obviously better." He put the fried chicken in his mouth. In an instant, his eyes widened. Impossible. This flavor, the perfect harmony of east and west, the ultimate balance of sweet, salty, and spice. This is the taste of world peace. The hero lowered his head. "I lost." He covered his face with both hands. "I lost completely." A voice rang out. "Well, it's good, right? The moment you took the first bite, you should have known. This is a taste beyond your reach, even if you were reborn." The hero opened his eyes. That voice, impossible. He whipped around. Papias stood there holding a plate of fried chicken, laughing darkly in the purple light. "You used to be so arrogant. How pitiful you are now." He was the owner of Hell Fried Chicken. The hero glared at him. "How are you still not dead?" Papias looked down at him. "You should have finished the job back then. Didn't I tell you? I am a king of curses. I always appear at your happiest moment. Now get ready." Cheers erupted from the crowd. "It really is the boss. He finally showed up." Papias raised a piece of fried chicken. "From now on, I'll crush you with this fried chicken." Complaints rose from all around. "Boss, when's our fried chicken coming? We ordered 3 hours ago." Listening to the voices around him, the hero gradually felt anger building. The hero had fought for 200 years. His emotions had long since dried up like an empty well. But at this moment, a storm gathered inside him, and his body rose with it. The name of that emotion was rage. He stepped forward. "Fine, I'll kill you countless times until I succeed." Demon King Papias spread his arms and leaned back. "Good, then let's begin again." He clenched his fist. A desperate battle to the death. This time won't be like last time. The hero shoved a palm straight into the Demon King's face. Their movements were synchronized so precisely that everyone around them turned to look. Murmurs spread. "That's the boss from the shop next door. It really is him. But why are those 2 together? Are they fighting?" Ella and Martin munched popcorn, watching with relish. "That's right. It's a battle to the death." A white-bearded old man raised an arm and shouted, "Winner takes all." A traditional death match. He was Village Chief Park. Village Chief Park roared, "This is a food war." Another man shouted along, "Wow. It's a food war." The Demon King and the hero looked confused. Why is everyone outside acting like this? A woman pumped her fist. Bloody festival. Fight, fight. So this is all over control of this shopping street. Demon King Papias grinned. The stage is set. What do you think? Will you accept the challenge or run? The hero frowned slightly. In the past, I would have ripped out the Demon King's heart directly. But now I'm in human state of mind. If I kill him here, the hunters protecting the city will all attack me. Once things escalate that far, I'll be their enemy. There's no other choice. The hero's eyes sharpened. In that case, let's compete. Village Chief Park spread his arms. Wonderful. The match is official. Then best of luck to both of you. The crowd burst into cheers. The god of chicken baskets will witness this duel. Ella covered her mouth with both hands and looked at the hero anxiously. Hero, Papias turned his face slightly. You people really know how to make trouble. The hero's gaze was icy. This time, I'll eliminate you completely. And thus, an absurd fried chicken showdown was decided. Village Chief Park raised a fist high. The theme of this contest is seasoned fried chicken. You have only 2 weeks. Chicken pieces tumbled in boiling oil with a loud hiss. The fried pieces were drained and piled high on a rack. The hero looked determined. Wait for me, Demon King. I'll settle this with cooking. 2 weeks later, in the restricted zone of New South City, a grand circular arena stood completed. The city's people surged like waves. Please collect your ballots. The arena was completely packed. Cheers shook the heavens. The commentator raised a card. Let me introduce the contestants. He has returned from hell for fried chicken. His seasoned fried chicken has been tasted 7 times by death itself. In the red corner, the owner of Hell Fried Chicken, the Demon King. The Demon King suddenly looked up. What? How do you know I'm the Demon King? The commentator pointed to the other side. Next, the fried chicken that once saved the world. Now he's here to save the seasoned fried chicken world too. In the blue corner, the hero, owner of Hero Fried Chicken. The hero remained expressionless, quietly gathering himself. The Demon King looked toward the hero, annoyed. Are they treating this like their own festival? The hero turned his head, eyes cold. It doesn't matter, as long as I can crush you. The commentator gripped the microphone. No more words are needed. From this moment on, the first season fried chicken tournament officially begins. The audience stared in amazement. Good heavens! The judges at the panel grabbed the commentator. They cried out, such incredible speed. Their hands moved too fast to see. In the very instant the commentator was speaking, the fried chicken was finished. Plates of fried chicken appeared before the judges as if out of thin air. The commentator announced, the first to finish is the Demon King's seasoned fried chicken. The Demon King stood with hands on hips, lips curling upward. Go ahead and taste it. This is the taste of hell. All 3 judges put the fried chicken into their mouths at once. Their eyes widened as if struck by electricity. The blue-haired judge adjusted his glasses. The flavor is indeed excellent. He was the 5th-generation heir of a famous restaurant, John Maximus Travolta. Hamburger Girl. Another judge shouted in admiration. This flavor is unparalleled. He was the 3rd-generation heir of a hamburger shop, McDonald Tihu. The Demon King grinned broadly. How boring. Isn't the result already obvious? Your boasting ends here. A fierce gust swept across the judges' table, making them all shudder. The commentator straightened his sunglasses. Hero Fried Chicken is done too. The judges froze. But what is this? Ella and Martin looked at each other. This is bad. The Demon King smugly curled his lips. The commentator cried out in disbelief. It's original fried chicken. A plate of golden, crispy fried chicken sat before the judges, without a trace of sauce. The Demon King burst out laughing. Huh, did you give up? I don't want to lose like this. This is my final shred of dignity. The hero slowly turned around. The smile on the Demon King's face froze. He swallowed. The hero spoke calmly. Try it. The judges picked up a piece of fried chicken and bit into it hesitantly. Impossible. They looked at each other. This fried chicken is unbelievable. So unique. The Demon King whipped around. What? What happened? He rushed to the judge's table. Isn't this just ordinary fried chicken? He grabbed a piece and stuffed it into his mouth. A flash lit his eyes. Scalding energy erupted from the top of his head like a volcanic explosion. That bastard hid the seasoning inside the batter. The sauce is seeping out from within. The hero said calmly, well, tasty, right? He leaned in and whispered by the Demon King's ear. Original fried chicken is my specialty, so all I had to do was make seasoned fried chicken look like original fried chicken. He spread his arms. I call it naked seasoned fried chicken. After tasting it, McDonald Tihu looked blissful. It's delicious. It doesn't lose to Hell Fried Chicken at all. John abruptly sprang up. This is ridiculous. No matter what, seasoned fried chicken should still be Hell Fried Chicken. McDonald Tihu retorted, John, wipe the sauce off your mouth before you talk. John shot back. Weren't you the one who said you don't talk to people who've never eaten Hell Fried Chicken? Demon King Papias watched coldly. So, you came prepared. The hero's eyes sharpened. You'd better start worrying. The Demon King grinned. Now it's getting interesting. Fine. The real match starts now. The hero brought down his knife. This is exactly what I hoped for. The commentator's voice trembled with excitement. The contestants have started cooking again. What exactly are they trying to make? The judges collapsed to the floor. I'm at my limit. Finally, release. Empty plates were piled all over the table. The judges lay sprawled in every direction. Total chaos. The hero and the Demon King looked at each other. So who won now? Village Chief Park stepped forward. He smiled. One evenly matched contest. The winner of this tournament will be decided by audience vote. We already let the audience taste the fried chicken, so the voting results will be out very soon. The giant screen in the arena lit up. Hero Fried Chicken versus Hell Fried Chicken. Green text flashed across the screen. The commentator tightened his grip on the microphone. Thank you all for waiting. The voting results are in. The ultimate winner of the first seasoned fried chicken tournament is God Chicken. The big screen showed God Chicken 998 votes, Hero Fried Chicken 1 vote, Hell Fried Chicken 1 vote. The Demon King and the hero were both stunned. How is that possible? What is God Chicken? They had never even heard that name before. Village Chief Park asked, You don't know the biggest fried chicken chain in the universe? Then let me educate you. Ranked #1 in brand reputation across all dimensions, and currently the top seller of fried chicken in this city. He threw off his coat. It tastes so good, 2 people could eat themselves to death without noticing. The one and only God Chicken. No matter how well your chicken sells, you can't compare to God Chicken. They're all executives of God Chicken. The Demon King trembled as if struck by lightning. His eyes swept over the judges' table. Every familiar face had become strange and terrifying. So, they're all executives? You gotta be kidding. You didn't even submit an entry form. Village Chief Park smiled. Who said the competition was only between you two? Did you actually read the registration form carefully? The hero and the Demon King both lowered their heads to look at the forms in their hands. On the paper, it clearly said, Organizer of this tournament. God Chicken will also participate. The Demon King hurled the registration form at Park's head. What kind of thugs are you people? Village Chief Park's expression went cold. So you still refuse to accept the result? Did you forget? The outcome of this competition is determined 90 by audience voting. The audience ate while chatting. The other chicken was good too, but the familiar taste is the best. The hero looked puzzled. Weren't they eating our chicken? The Demon King clenched his fists. I still can't accept this, you bastards. Village Chief Park snapped his fingers. You'll accept it soon enough. Several men in black suddenly appeared and surrounded the two of them. A fierce purple light flashed in the Demon King's eyes. I get it now. This is how you want to play, huh? Bring out your boss. The village chief shouted, Throw those two out. The men in black rushed forward. The Demon King roared and lunged at them. Suddenly, a force dragged him up and held him suspended in midair, unable to move. A man appeared in the doorway. The Demon King looked confused. Who is he? The man smiled. So many familiar faces. The hero looked up, eyes full of shock. The blonde man rested a hand on his shoulder. Long time no see, everyone. Has it already been a year? The hero recognized him. Why are you? The blonde man tilted his head with a smile. You're the ones who summoned me. Didn't you say to bring out the boss? I'm the owner of God Chicken, Boss Shun. The hero looked baffled. You're actually the owner? Suspended in the air, the Demon King bared his teeth. What are you trying to do? Want another fight? Boss Shun flicked his fingertip lightly, and green flames appeared. Hey, what are you talking about? The Demon King was forcibly suppressed. Pain crossed his face, and then he crashed hard to the ground. Boss Shun's eyes were full of contempt. Who would care about a loser like you? He turned around. We can talk later. Let's discuss business first. We'll start with the Demon King. Green light burst from his fingertips, exploding in an instant and illuminating the entire space. The people in the arena were hurt by the blinding light and raised their hands to shield themselves, crying out in pain. They rubbed their eyes. What is this? A smell hit their noses. Everyone's faces turned green. What the hell? Where is this stench coming from? Isn't this hell fried chicken? The hero looked shocked. Using illegal substitution magic while cooking is a crime, isn't it? Boss Shun held his chin, thinking, an illusion convincing enough to fool even me. Should I dispose of you right now? The Demon King hurriedly waved both hands, signaling for calm. The hero continued, and that's not all. These demons staying outside the gate are there illegally. Yet you hired a large number of illegal residents. The Demon King handed identification cards to a group of monsters. Don't worry, humans are stupid. They won't notice. If you get caught, you'll take responsibility, right? You even bribed the village chief. Boss Shun raised a document. Mr. Demon King, you remember this, right? It was the building contract. The Demon King's pupils contracted. The clauses stood out clearly. If any illegal or criminal act takes place inside the building, regardless of circumstances, the tenant must still fulfill procedures for the remaining lease term. The Demon King's body tensed, fists clenched. He roared and pointed ahead. What kind of absurd clause is that? You think of the landlord? What gives you the right to throw me out? Boss Shun gave a cold smile. Contracts must be read carefully. Looks like you haven't gotten a call yet. He smiled brightly. As of yesterday, I became the owner of this building. So get out. The hero looked at the Demon King. I see. He's finished. Boss Shun's gaze shifted to the hero. You get out too. He held up 2 documents, one for Hell Fried Chicken and one for Hero Fried Chicken. The hero took a shocked step back. I can understand him, but why me? Boss Shun held out a hand. I told you before, I could make you a god. Think it over again. As a god, you could easily fulfill all your wishes. Why exactly do you refuse? The hero stood, turned sideways. Why would I bother with all that trouble? You call yourself a god, but you don't look happy. With that, he turned and walked away. Don't ever show up again. Boss Shun's face twisted. The moment you rejected my blessing, our relationship changed. Insignificant human. The hero and the Demon King both looked stunned. What a petty man. Boss Shun waved a hand. If you understand now, move out immediately. I've already arranged for a new tenant to move in today. The hero looked at the Demon King, determination on his face. Let's take that from him. The Demon King leaned toward the hero. And him? He's your companion, isn't he? The hero's eyes were resolute. That doesn't mean I'll let him steal my shop. Same goes for you, right? The Demon King froze, then grinned. Haha, what are you talking about? My goal from the start was revenge. Looks like I already achieved it. He picked up the phone. Gather everyone. Let's all go have a meal at God Chicken. The hero's face stiffened instantly. The smile on the Demon King's face froze. What? A huge force suddenly hurled him away. Green light glowed on Boss Shun's fingertips. You really never learn your lesson. The green light swirled at his fingertips, forming a vortex of energy. The Demon King stared at the energy in terror. What is that? A massive green portal tore open beside Boss Shun, bottomless and dark. The Demon King was sucked into the portal. Boss Shun snorted. Restricted zone, New South City. He'll be teleported there. I may not excel at combat, but I have plenty of tricks like this. The hero glared at him. Hand over the contract. Boss Shun smiled. If you've got the ability, come take it. The Demon King buried his face in the dirt. Are you insane? He barely lifted his head. You bastards. The hero quickly chased after Boss Shun. He stepped on the Demon King's head and ground his face hard into the dirt. Struggling, the Demon King roared, bastard. The entire town had turned to ruins. Citizens wailed among broken walls. What is this? My house. Boss Shun laughed wildly. Hero, do you see that? That's all your debt. You destroyed quite a lot, didn't you? Doesn't this emptiness look just like your future? In his hand was a silver pen, green light swirling around him. Wouldn't it have been better if you'd just made a wish back then? This is the pen of God. Whatever is written with it can be realized. The hero roared with a twisted face. To hell with your wishes, bastard. A blinding light burst forth. Boss Shun kept his eyes closed, brave but foolish. The pen of God flashed with green light. That last strike nearly got past my defense. Become a god, hero. The hero glared furiously. Rather than be with someone like you, if I have to choose between becoming a god and choosing the Demon King, I'd choose the Demon King. Boss Shun's body gave a slight tremor. He smiled faintly. Oh, my dear hero, you just made a wish, didn't you? His eyes gleamed with amusement. To be with the Demon King until all debts are repaid. The pen of God shone with golden light. Now, this is interesting. The hero was engulfed in the brilliant light, his body involuntarily leaning backward. What? My eyes. He slowly opened them. Where did that godlike bastard go? Rubbing his eyes, he found a glowing green chain in his hand. He tugged hard at it. Why won't it come off? Is this thing attached to something? He followed the chain with his eyes. The other end was connected to someone's ankle. The Demon King lay on the ground, eyes shut, and before them, Hero Fried Chicken had been reduced to rubble. Hell Fried Chicken had suffered the same fate. The two of them stood frozen in the ruins. Both shops were gone, burdened with enormous debt. Papias had been born as the Demon King, Lord of Curses, supreme ruler of countless worlds. The world should have obeyed his will. He sat beneath the moon, looking down upon his prostrate followers. He was the king of all demons, basking in their boundless worship. Then the hero descended, and Papias was utterly crushed. The shock of that catastrophic defeat made the Demon King open a ridiculous fried chicken shop. And even that failed. Papias wore a bizarre smile, holding fried chicken in both hands. "I'll use this to defeat you." And now he lay sprawled on the ground. "I want to go back to the demon realm." The hero bent down close. "From now on, we're one body." His golden eyes flickered. Is the chain disappearing? The green chain on the hero's wrist dissolved into motes of light and vanished. Papias suddenly sprang to his feet. Now, he bolted into the distance. "Let's never see each other again." A chain suddenly appeared around his ankle, and Papias crashed heavily to the ground. He looked baffled. "If I go too far, this thing appears? The limit is about 100 meters? The hero slowly approached. "I told you, from now on, we're one body." The Demon King trembled all over, leaving only a miserable scream echoing through the air. In a monster danger zone of New South Yeonju City, countless monsters lurked in the woods. In the darkness, beastly eyes glimmered. An A-rank avian monster burst from the forest and beat its wings toward the twilight sky. It suddenly dove downward, opening a saw-like maw lined with jagged teeth. Scarlet vertical tentacles stretched from its mouth. It was the true apex predator of the New South Yeonju region. Then a beam of golden light instantly pierced the diving monster. The monster fell, its body blasted into chunks of flesh that scattered across the ground. The Demon King and the hero picked up the monster meat in the forest. The hero said, "We've got meat. Let's open for business." 200 years after the Dimensional War, the surviving city was called New Gaoli. The map was divided into 3 zones: Safe Zone, Border Zone, and Danger Zone. Seoul and Busan city centers, far from the black gates that endlessly spewed monsters, were in the Safe Zone. Cities that were more prosperous than ever. But the farther one moved from the safe zone, the more underdeveloped the cities became, and the more frequently the black gates appeared. Survival grew harder by the day, especially in the danger zone, which had become a haven for outlaws. A city of exiles. Most customers here were rough desperados, or hunters. The bell above the shop door rang. Papias raised his head expressionlessly. "Welcome to Yeonma Fried Chicken." Ella and Martin walked in, easy smiles on their faces. "Long time no see." Outside, a staggering figure approached the fried chicken shop. The hero calmly replied, "It has been a while." "Welcome." Papias propped up his chin with one hand, looking at the news on his phone. Around 9 p.m. last night, aliens appeared from a meteor that fell into the danger zone of South Yeonju. These jellyfish-like creatures are a parasitic species that uses humans as hosts. The Hunter Association has designated them as an A-rank dangerous species. Ella and Martin laughed. What kind of lunatic would turn a city into something shaped like a giant clam? Behind them, a hunter in red armor slammed the table. "Boss, get out here." Hearing that, the hero walked out. "Customer, what do you need?" The red-armored hunter threw the fried chicken on the floor. "It tastes like shit. Make it again, or stay here and play with me instead." The hero replied coldly, "Customer, that's not acceptable." The red-armored hunter didn't care. "What's the big deal?" Papias' gaze hardened. "For revenge, for my grand ambition to conquer dimensions, I must return to the demon realm and grow stronger. And for that, I first have to break these chains." But there was one problem. Why were there no other customers in the shop? The two hunters looked at the hero with admiration. "Wow, the boss is so cool." Papias looked toward the hero. "Of course it's because of that guy. Not only can I not save any money, the debt keeps increasing." A sinister black-red aura spread around the hero. He pressed one hand onto the red-armored hunter's head and smashed it hard onto the table. The red-armored hunter cried out in pain. The Demon King looked at his phone as it chimed. A new review had arrived. Several bad reviews were displayed clearly on the screen. The boss might be a violent thug. The Demon King looked utterly hopeless. "My path back to the demon realm is slowly disappearing." Pinned to the table, the red-armored hunter roared, "Do you know who I am?" The hero replied coldly, "Why would I need to know you?" The red-armored hunter struggled and shouted, "How dare you touch me? Soon my men will..." Suddenly, a huge swarm of pink jellyfish-like creatures poured inside. The hero stared at them expressionlessly. What is this? The Demon King glanced sideways. Are these this guy's accomplices? The red-armored hunter screamed in terror. What is this? The hero raised a brow. So they're not. He said coldly to the red-armored hunter, "You're too noisy." Then he punched him in the head and knocked him out cold. One jellyfish creature rushed forward with a spluttering cry. The hero casually threw a punch into its lower jaw. Its body shot straight into the ceiling, leaving a hole. The Demon King shouted, "You punched a hole in the wall. What about the repair costs?" The jellyfish creatures made innocent noises. The hero looked apologetic. "At this rate, I probably can't pay wages this month." The Demon King roared, "You never paid me in the first place." The jellyfish creatures revealed vicious expressions. They swelled and distorted. One of them suddenly lashed out with a tentacle, sweeping across the shop. Tables and chairs exploded apart. The Demon King grabbed one jellyfish creature, tightening all 5 fingers. "Stop breaking things, or I'll crush you." The jellyfish creature trembled in his hand, letting out a weak cry. The Demon King grinned. "What, crying for your mommy?" He mocked it again. "Go on, call your mom, you jellyfish bastard." The jellyfish creature let out a shrill scream. Blue light burst out as the ceiling exploded open. Ella and Martin looked up in terror. "What is that?" A blue tentacle suddenly appeared and wrapped around the Demon King. The Demon King was yanked away and cried out. A gigantic blue jellyfish creature appeared, Papias' reflection visible in its eyes. Papias looked up. "Don't tell me you're their mother?" Ella and Martin rushed out. "What kind of monster is that? I've never seen anything like it. How did it get so huge?" Papias raised a hand, his smile stiff. "About the disrespect I showed your children. I'd like to apologize." The blue jellyfish opened its huge mouth and swallowed Papias in one gulp. The hunter screamed in horror. It ate him. Martin tried to contact someone. Magical light flickered erratically. The signal's cutting in and out. Getting back up will be difficult. Ella sabe ni remember. Wasn't the hero with us just now? The two rushed out of the fried chicken shop, calling in panic, "Hero, where are you?" A loud crash rang out. The inside of the shop was a complete mess. Corpses of jellyfish creatures covered the floor. Ella looked around. The hero was gone. Who killed all these jellyfish? The hero appeared beside the blue jellyfish. Golden aura erupted from his body. His furious eyes bulged with veins. "How dare you? How dare you touch my fried chicken shop?" Someone once said that killing 2 makes you a murderer, but slaughtering millions makes you a hero. A boot stepped into a pool of blood, ripples spreading. The hero looked down over Lion Mountain. A sea of blood spread at his feet. Torn banners wailed in the wind. After only 2 days of war, they call me a hero. Standing atop the mountain, the hero looked below, where countless arms stretched up toward the sky. I saved this world just as they wished. But in this world, everything that was truly mine has vanished. He clenched his teeth, fury burning in his eyes. The only thing left to me is a fried chicken shop, and you dare touch my fried chicken shop. He threw a punch and smashed the monster's face, then dove into the air, aiming at something 100 meters away. Just like that, with a flick of his wrist, a chain appeared out of nowhere. The hero gripped it tightly. He swung hard, pouring all his strength into the end of the chain. It whistled through the air, cutting across the sky. The blue jellyfish looked blank, its body swelling slightly. It was hurled into the air. A little girl excitedly pointed upward. "Mommy, look, it's a jellyfish." Her mother looked terrified. The jellyfish let out a sharp scream. The chain tightened. It was smashed violently into the ground. The earth shook fiercely and dust shot skyward. Papias dropped to his knees, panting with one hand braced against the ground. "Damn it, what's going on now?" He looked around. "I sure flew far. Is it all over?" A blue puddle of slime wriggled beside him, gathering into a mass. Papias' pupils contracted. He stepped back, face full of caution. The blue slime swelled and stretched. "King of the galaxy, Aurelia." He gave a twisted smile. "It's been a long time since I awakened in this form. For thousands of years, unable to find an opponent, I have never revealed this state." Papias looked shocked. Aurelia opened his palm. An invisible force seized Papias. Papias' body was forcibly dragged forward, his chest thrust out. Aurelia grabbed him by the neck and yanked him close. "So you're the one who woke me." At this moment, I was merely hunting for food in passing. Yet on this tiny asteroid, I encounter something capable of breaking my shell. With a flick of his tentacle, a spike instantly pierced Papias' chest. Aurelia looked down at him. Too weak. Your aura is similar to mine, and yet so frail. His saw-like mouth split open, revealing rows of jagged teeth. No matter. I'll enjoy you fully. Papias suddenly burst out laughing. Aurelia looked confused. You're still alive? Papias reached out and grabbed Aurelia's arm. Too bad. A little more to the left, and I might have died. A force suddenly struck. Aurelia looked stunned. What? He gritted his teeth. What is this? Papias sat on the ground, clutching his stomach. The hero stood beside him. Aurelia stared at his own tentacle. When did that appear? My arm that can pass through black holes. It was actually cut off. The hero turned back. Are you all right? The Demon King shouted. Why did you take so long to get here? As long as my heart hasn't been ripped out, I'm fine. Unlike certain people, he lifted his foot. Don't forget, if I die, you can't live either. That's why I told you to hurry. Aurelia stared at the hero's figure. I have traveled countless planets and fought countless strong beings. But this thing is a monster. He clenched his teeth. I'm actually feeling fear toward a lowly creature. Impossible. He roared. Absolutely impossible. Countless tentacles surged out like giant pythons and coiled toward the hero. Enter my subspace, a domain capable of devouring planets. Be swallowed whole. The hero's voice came from within the writhing mass of tentacles. If you don't let go of me in 3 seconds, you're dead. Aurelia gave a sneering smile. In a place that could devour a planet in 1 minute, how long can you last? Suddenly, his pupils shrank. What? A brilliant blue light burst from inside the tentacle mass. Aurelia's body fell apart, disintegrating into drifting blue particles. So this is how I die? How unwilling I am. Countless rays gathered together, condensing into a shining blue crystal. The crystal slowly floated down. The Demon King looked at it. A magic stone? Why is it so small? The hero shook his head. Doesn't matter. This thing will eat it anyway. The chain appeared at once. He opened his mouth and swallowed the crystal in one bite. Divine Debt Notice. A bill that can collect debt anytime, anywhere. Its characteristic is devouring wealth. The hero held up the notice. Let's see how much is left. A-rank mode, 1 billion, minus 40 million in shop repair costs, equals 960 million. Current debt, 9,100,114 billion. The hero let out a long sigh. You've got to be kidding me. Am I paying this off for the rest of my life? Let's go do business. Time rewinds 10 minutes. A pillar of light descended from the sky, piercing the city skyline. An association member held up a telescope. Chief, a man wearing a fur coat, stood there, assisted by the association member. Hunter Association Chief, SS Class Hunter Namgung Joseph. Namgung Joseph spoke slowly. What is it? The association member pointed into the distance. There, a grand cluster of white buildings. Its dome gleamed in the sunlight. A man in a white robe stood by the bed. Lord Viola, you should wake up and see this. A muffled groan came from under the blanket. Why? Weren't you supposed to wake me only when the world was ending? The white-robed man looked grave. That pillar of light you mentioned has appeared. The blanket was suddenly thrown off. Pope Viola sat upright. Where is he? Demon King Papias sat upon the Sea Valley throne, overlooking the mortal world. A pair of dust-covered hands devoutly offered up a beating heart. O Lord of Doom, I beg you to save this rotten world with the apocalypse. Papias slowly opened his eyes, his pupils utterly calm. Very well, I shall bring balance to all worlds. The Blessed One shouted loudly, please rise and prepare the machine. Papias propped up his chin, baring his fangs. Fine, I'll get up and prepare to re. He suddenly opened his eyes. Prepare what? The hero's voice rang out. Aren't you getting up to prep the chicken? Thus began the daily life of the hero and the Demon King. At dawn, the Demon King jolted upright, and the hero urged him on. If you don't hurry up, we're screwed. We open at noon. The hero stood at the cutting board with a cleaver in hand. Hurry up, insert the points. The Demon King sat on a little stool, his hands never stopping. I'm doing it already. At dusk, after closing up, the hero bit down on the Demon King's head. The Demon King howled. It's not my fault no customers came. The next day, the hero stared at the Demon King's hands. Cut it more accurately. The Demon King muttered back, I am cutting it accurately. A week later, the hero supervised again. Cut it better. Without even looking up, the Demon King said, I'm cutting it just fine. 2 weeks later, the hero looked at him coldly. Do you not want to get paid? The Demon King said nothing. His hands trembled. I quit. He hurled the ingredients onto the ground, and chunks of meat flew everywhere. The hero raised his cleaver, its edge flashing coldly. You quit? The Demon King flailed his arms excitedly. There are no customers, and we still haven't paid off our debts. What's the point of preparing all this? I can't take it anymore. The hero remained expressionless. You can't take it anymore? The Demon King closed his eyes, looking resolved. I've said my piece. If I die now, I die with no regrets. The hero's face remained calm. He raised his phone. The news broadcast said that because monsters were running rampant, demand for delivery had surged. People were no longer dining out. The hero said, delivery is the trend now. The Demon King looked troubled. But who would deliver? We're bound by chains. Our maximum range is only 100 meters. The hero held up a recruitment flyer. Don't worry, I posted this yesterday. Hiring writers, physical test, personality interview, executive interview, salary non negociable, cash only. The Demon King's cheek twitched, panic rising in his heart. How could anyone possibly come? He threw the flyer to the ground. Salary non negociable, cash only. Anyone can see this is a scumbag employer. Who would come? The hero said nothing and walked to the door. He pushed it open. Outside was a sea of people. Applicants filled the entire street, each one holding a flyer. The Demon King stared, dumbfounded. Why are there so many? He looked carefully at what they were wearing. Could it be? Are they all hunters? Do these hunters have nothing better to do? What the hell is going on? The applicants shouted, Boss, we're here too. Ella and Martin waved excitedly. The hero walked over and handed them balloon headbands. Put these on. A hunter wearing a balloon headband live-streamed to the camera. Everyone, this'll only take 5 minutes. Today's content is, do hunters really have nothing to do? In the first age of heroes, the world needed them. Heroes gathered to fight enormous threats. The age of heroes passed, and the era of hunters arrived. Confetti flew as a banner unfurled, celebrating the 5th anniversary of the end of the Dimensional War. The war ended, threats sharply declined, and hunters lost their purpose. Then a new light shone on them. In the news footage, an anchor sat in stunned disbelief. A hunter's solo livestream income has surpassed 100 million won. The age of streaming has arrived. On the screen, one streamer shouted at the camera, Monster Mukbang. Today I'm eating 50 monster legs. Another hunter brandished his sword. Come watch the daily life of an A-rank hunter. Hunters became the profession children admired most. Gradually, hunters degenerated into performers chasing fame and profit. To them, this absurd interview was a carnival. One hunter raised his selfie stick high. Thanks for the 50,001 donation. The hero held a microphone, looking serious. The rider interview for the Hero Demon King Fried Chicken Shop begins now. He looked around at the crowd. Everyone, you all have your balloon headbands on, right? The interview will have 3 rounds, a physical test, a personality interview, and an executive interview. The first 6 to pass the physical test advance. Even if you cross the finish line, if your balloon pops, you're out. The hunters stirred. What is this? Some huge corporation. The hero gave the order. All right, get ready. Suddenly, a pink dinosaur mascot monster appeared, bumping into them. The hunters stared in shock. The dinosaur cursed. One hunter whispered, why not just pop someone else's balloon first? Another hunter sneered. You think you're capable of that? The hero shouted, start. The hunters shot out like arrows. Physical test. Run 5 kilometers in 5 minutes. The first 6 advance. Huge boulders rained from the sky. One hunter cried out, there are obstacles too? What do they think we are? The hunters dodged and sprinted, weaving through the hazards. The pink dinosaur monster ran along. A female hunter leaped gracefully and shouted at the little dinosaur, look at those short legs. Can it even run properly? A man beside her scoffed, you're blinded by view counts. The pink dinosaur put a hand to its ear and nodded. That's right, I got the call. Yes, I'm participating right now. He was so immersed in his own world that he paid no attention to the commotion around him. He didn't even notice someone had stopped running. He lowered his hand. I'll take care of everything. Then he suddenly leaped up and kicked the balloon off one hunter's head. He immediately caught up to the live-streaming female hunter and popped her balloon with one jab. The dinosaur noticed someone ahead. He hurried after him. The green-haired man sensed it and quickly turned around. What are you doing? The pink dinosaur looked awkward for a moment, then attacked again. The green-haired hunter sidestepped easily. The dinosaur's kick struck a cloaked hunter instead. The cloaked hunter let out a muffled grunt. A vicious glint flashed in his eyes as his hand gripped his sword hilt tightly. You bastards! He slashed out in fury. The green-haired hunter dodged easily, his gaze turning dark. That's enough. From the bushes, the Demon King and the hero watched quietly. The Demon King smiled faintly. Pretty good reflexes. In a clearing in the woods, the three hunters faced off. The pink dinosaur looked fierce. "Before I pop your balloons, why don't you just give up?" The cloaked hunter replied coldly, "You dinosaur-headed freak. That's my line." The green-haired hunter looked speechless. "Shouldn't that be the least of our concerns right now?" He pointed to the side. "Shouldn't we deal with that first?" A gigantic monster dropped from the sky. A speaker on a tree trunk crackled to life. From this moment on, additional obstacles have been added to the first round. The three froze in place. What obstacle? A giant hawk appeared, blocking their path, its mouth full of sharp teeth and its long tongue lashing wildly. The three swallowed nervously. This is a monster that only appears in certain areas. There is very little information on it. At present, there is no established strategy for dealing with it. We can only run first. In the monster's open mouth, a blazing golden light began to gather. Could it be? It's about to use a breath attack? A scorching beam of light crashed down from above, instantly engulfing everything nearby. The three ran for their lives. The little dinosaur looked panicked. To handle something like that, you'd need at least an S-rank hunter. The green-haired boy ran desperately while pulling a glowing little ball from his chest pocket. He hurled the ball hard at the giant bird behind them. His two companions cried out in horror. "Are you suicidal? Don't provoke it." The giant bird seemed puzzled by the tiny object flying toward it and let it hit its face. Then an ear-piercing explosion rang out. The giant bird's eyes instantly filled with blood vessels as it roared furiously. The three covered their ears in pain. Was that a sonic blast egg? Apparently, the giant bird had also been badly affected by the noise. Could its weakness be sound? The three took the chance to sprint forward again. But the giant bird didn't chase them. Instead, it turned and flew in another direction. The pink dinosaur suddenly started. He stopped running. That's the finish line. Ahead stood a sign marked finish. The green-haired boy shouted. Behind it is a dense forest. Let's hide there. The pink dinosaur whipped around. How's he know that? The crowd behind them was terrified. The giant bird beat its wings and came after them again. The cloaked man gaped. It recovered already? Damn it, we made it mad, and now it's only chasing us. The giant bird opened its tooth-filled maw and spewed devastating flames. After a huge explosion, a group of people emerged from the smoke and stared in shock at the scene before them. That explosion was massive. What happened to those three up front? One of them held up his phone and whispered excitedly. "Anyway, thanks to them, we made it through. Did you see that? We're in first place." The green-haired boy clapped a hand over his mouth and warned in a low voice, "Quiet, unless you want to be that bird's dinner." The group held their breath, pressing themselves tightly behind tree trunks. Meanwhile, the giant bird's head slowly peeked out from behind the trees, its glowing red eyes fixed on their hiding place. The boy aimed his phone at the giant bird. This is definitely going to get tons of views. Suddenly, a bright donation alert flashed on the screen. Healer donated 50,000 won. The phone's light illuminated their terrified faces. The light startled the giant bird. Its enormous red glowing, I turned toward where they were hiding. Screams rang out one after another. "We're screwed. Run." The green-haired boy remained expressionless. "No." His tone was icy. "It's already too late." The giant bird opened its mouth wide, flames gathering inside. The green-haired boy closed his eyes. Is this where it ends? But the destruction they expected never came. The giant bird turned and flew away. Everyone was baffled. Why did it stop halfway? Who knows? It just turned around and flew off. Behind the bushes, the hero held a microphone and tapped it twice to test the device. A voice came through the loudspeaker. For the physical test, the first 6 people to arrive qualify. Those who passed, please proceed to the next interview room. The adventurers looked at one another. A female adventurer pointed into the distance. "Everyone, should we head over there?" 6 glowing circles appeared in the clearing. Several people swallowed nervously. So now, it's the personality interview? This feels harder than being a hunter. Footsteps sounded. The hero and the demon king stepped out. The hero cleared his throat. "Thank you all for your efforts in the physical test. We will now begin the personality interview." The hunters complained, "You gotta be kidding. What physical test? That was a survival trial." The hero announced the rules. Simple. Step into the glowing circles. Just remain inside them during the interview. Several of them sighed in relief. That's not hard. All that worrying for nothing. The demon king suddenly stepped forward. The hunters' hearts skipped a beat. The vice president is supposed to be an ordinary person. But what's with this pressure? The demon king held out a lottery tube. "Draw one." The hunter drew out a slip of paper. Written on it were the words, "Read aloud." He cleared his throat and read, "Customer, did you call for me?" The demon king challenged him. "How old are you?" and you're still doing part-time work like this? The hunter's face twisted. What is this feeling? A wave of humiliation rose inside him. The Demon King's gaze turned fierce. What kind of expression is that? You want to fight? Gritting his teeth, the hunter snarled, "You bastard." He threw the slip to the ground. Then he swung his fist. "My life is only just beginning." The Demon King declared expressionlessly. B-rank hunter Lee Chongchun, age 36. Eliminated. The personality interview continued. One hunter angrily protested, "Why should I take out your kitchen trash?" The Demon King declared him eliminated. Another hunter crushed his slip. "If you don't have money, don't eat." The Demon King eliminated him as well. In the end, only 3 people remained. The Demon King looked at them. They actually endured that humiliation. Applause sounded. "Welcome to those who passed." The hero pushed up his glasses. "Before we begin the executive interview, I'll take questions." The cloaked hunter raised his hand. "I have a question." The hero turned his head. "Anything except salary." The cloaked hunter asked, "Have you heard of Moneybug Thompson?" A breeze blew by, lifting the cloak. The hero looked blank. "What? Who's Thompson?" The Demon King shook his head too. "I don't know either." The man removed his cloak. "I'm Jason, Thompson's older brother. Even if my little brother was just a bug, I'm going to avenge him." The hero punched him in the face. "I see. Are you people serious? If you're not here for the interview, get lost." Jason's face instantly warped, and he was sent flying. The hero looked at the green-haired boy and the little dinosaur. "Do you two have any questions?" Both of them shook their heads. "No." The pink dinosaur hummed cheerfully. "Can I take a call?" The hero waved his hand. "Sure, go ahead." The pink dinosaur turned around. "Okay, I'm picking up." The Demon King watched the dinosaur's back. "That dinosaur is better than that music guy. He could be the shop mascot, too." The pink dinosaur turned back. He suddenly announced, "I'm dropping out." The hero and the Demon King looked puzzled. "Why?" The pink dinosaur strode away. "My mom told me to come home quickly. So long." The hero turned to the green-haired boy. "Congratulations. You're hired. Aside from salary adjustments, if you have any requests, you can make them." The green-haired boy raised his hand. "Then I have a question." The hero looked tired. "You've already been hired anyway. We could talk after we get back." The green-haired boy spoke. "Is the Demon King still alive?" He slashed with his sword. Cold light flashed. He stared at the broken sword in his hand. His pupils contracted. The hero held the other half of the broken blade and asked coldly, "Who are you?" The returner Kong Chiol's pupils shrank slightly, and cold sweat slid down. This entire cycle is strange. Something is very wrong. The Demon King is strange too. Something feels off. "My name is Kong Chiol. I'm a returner. From the ages of 18 to 23, I was trapped in an endless loop of 5 years of life. I have never lived past 23. There's only one reason. All 21 dimensions were destroyed at the hands of the Demon King. This is the 15th cycle. Everything has changed. The time and place are the same, but every element has changed. Most importantly, the Demon King has grown weaker. His aura is completely different." Kong Chiol's eyes flashed with killing intent. "This is my chance." He thrust his sword. The Demon King kicked him away. Kong Chiol plummeted down and slammed into the ground, kicking up a cloud of dust. He coughed up a mouthful of blood. The Demon King had weakened, but he was still strong. Kong Chiol gritted his teeth. "I have to be prepared. It's time to retreat." A pillar of light shot up from the ground, and Kong Chiol vanished into it. The hero stared at the Demon King. The Demon King hurriedly explained, "I've never seen him either." The hero remained expressionless. "Let's catch him first." The Demon King raised an eyebrow. "You don't believe me?" A vast, dense forest stretched endlessly. Kong Chiol's figure sped through the trees. "First, I need to find my equipment." A fluorescent streak brushed past him and slammed hard into a tree trunk. "They've already caught up?" From the brush, the pink dinosaur slowly emerged. "At last, it's just the two of us." He held a capture pole. "Returner Kong Chiol, I'm taking you alive." Kong Chiol looked at him. "So this time, is it the Hunter Association or Geotim?" The pink dinosaur whipped out the capture pole. "According to the report, you seem to be in the early stage of your return. If you cooperate obediently, you won't get hurt. This is an S-class control-type ability. After all, it can capture anything." Kong Chiol drew the dagger at his waist in reverse grip. "Looks like you don't want to talk, but it doesn't matter. I hate both of you anyway. If it's the Hunter Association, they'll take my ability. If it's Geotim, they'll imprison me for life." The pink dinosaur suddenly kicked off the ground and charged. "You'll find out once we meet." The two clashed fiercely. The Demon King and the hero hid in the bushes. The Demon King suddenly understood. "So he's a returner. That's why he attacked me." His gaze sharpened. "You knew." The hero avoided his eyes. "More or less. I've seen something similar before. Before returners return, blue energy radiates from their whole bodies." The Demon King collapsed to the ground. "You've seen a lot. So what are you going to do?" The hero smiled. I still like the dinosaur more. But a returner, at the very least, probably won't fail at deliveries. The Demon King looked confused. I really can't figure out his personality anymore. The hero turned his head, his expression grave. I've been thinking, from this point on, your role is going to be important. The Demon King pointed at himself, sitting there in confusion. Mine? Kong Cheol was tightly bound by ropes. He struggled with all his might. How did this happen? Everything is out of control. This time I can't predict anything. He opened his mouth wide. A glowing blue pill shone there. No choice. I have to use the poison I prepared. I'm going to return. The pink dinosaur immediately stuffed his mouth shut. Where do you think you're going? Did you think I'd let you return? It's over. Give up. Looks like you still don't understand the situation. Kong Cheol was pinned to the ground. Damn it, what do I do? Suddenly, a masked man appeared and pointed a gun at the pink dinosaur. Don't move. If you dare move, I'll shoot. Kong Cheol looked at the masked man. Who is this guy now? The masked man's cheeks flushed red as he loudly declared, I'm a passing robber. Hand him over to me, and I'll spare your life. The pink dinosaur said nothing. The three entered a standoff. Kong Cheol looked dead inside. Is the world being destroyed because of idiots like this? The pink dinosaur looked at the masked man. A passing robber, huh? His expression turned serious. Sorry, but this person is important to me too. He took a fighting stance for the association, for humanity's future. A masked woman suddenly hoisted Kong Cheol over her shoulder and ran. I'm passing robber number 2. I'm taking this item. The pink dinosaur was aghast. Damn it. Kong Cheol, slung over a shoulder, protested indistinctly. Who's an item? The pink dinosaur glared at the masked woman's back. There's another one? If I chase after her now. The masked man casually tossed his pistol. Didn't I tell you? Move and I'll shoot. Blue energy spheres gathered in the pink dinosaur's hands. What an overwhelming presence. The masked man raised his index finger and a purple beam shot out. The two energies collided violently, erupting in blinding white light. A huge explosion swallowed the entire forest, and smoke billowed everywhere. The pink dinosaur's shell cracked apart, revealing a disheveled, short-haired woman. She reported in a low voice, sorry. I lost them. 3 people ran through the woods. The Demon King and the hero removed their masks. Kong Cheol was so dizzy from being jostled that he could barely think. He stared at the hero. This is strange. At first I thought he was the Demon King's subordinate. But what exactly is his real identity? And why disguise themselves as robbers? 15 cycles, and this situation, and this woman too, are both firsts. Who exactly is she? My instincts tell me that the variable in this cycle is this woman. Kong Cheol struggled desperately and shouted through the gag. Who are you? The hero looked at him. What was that? How am I supposed to hear you? Kong Cheol's head slammed hard into a tree trunk. Dazed and reeling, he thought, am I really going to die like this? His eyes slowly closed. Kong Cheol jolted awake. Did I return? He sprang from the bed and looked around. He looked down at his clothes. What is this outfit? The hero smiled. It's your uniform. He held out a delivery order. Our riders should get to work, right? Kong Cheol froze. No way. His legs trembled. His feet dragged across the floor with a screech as his body pitched forward. This is too much. Every day, I have to avoid monsters and make long-distance deliveries. For the first time in my life, I might die delivering food. What the hell am I doing here? He charged at the hero and demanded angrily, you suddenly kidnap me and make me deliver food? What is your problem? Just kill me already. The hero calmly asked back, do you think I would? You don't have anything else to do right now anyway. Kong Cheol roared, you say I have nothing to do? I have to kill the Demon King and end this war. The hero sighed, you really know nothing. I already killed the Demon King. The war is over. The TV screen lit up, broadcasting the celebration of the 5th anniversary of the war's end. Kong Cheol went rigid. What? He pointed at the Demon King. Then what is that? The hero said, I'm curious too. Why are you still alive? The Demon King snapped. Are you two trying to start a fight? The hero raised a hand. Calm down. Since we're going to work together, I'll explain roughly. He spread his hands. That's the situation. Kong Cheol looked exhausted. So to summarize, because of the trajectory of the gods, you lost everything, and now you're opening a fried chicken shop together to pay off debt? You expect me to believe that? Who would believe that? Do you have proof? The Demon King spoke calmly. I wouldn't believe it either. But with his fingertips, he flicked up a glowing coin. It's faster if you see it for yourself. He tossed the coin, and a glowing bill appeared. It opened its huge mouth. Kong Cheol jumped in fright. What is that? The Demon King explained, that's a debt notice. Kong Cheol's eyes widened. Is this real? Current debt, 9.9 trillion? Can that even be paid off in this lifetime? How many zeros are there? His cheek twitched. Should I believe this? The war is over? Then what has my life up until now been for? This could all be a lie. Maybe I should die right now and start over. The hero's voice interrupted his thoughts. What are you agonizing over? You look like you don't believe a single word. If you really don't believe it, why not confirm it yourself? Kang Cheol thought about the Demon King, the war, and that woman's identity. Until all my questions are answered, I'll keep watching them. The hero smiled and spread his hands. Looks like you've thought it through. By the way, what's your name? Kang Cheol's gaze turned firm. I am Kang Feo. Please take care of me. He chewed on fried chicken, cheeks puffed out. Honestly, at the very least, shouldn't you buy me beef? After making me work this hard, you're feeding me fried chicken. The Demon King explained, this isn't a staff dinner. It's market research. Researching the local market is basic for an independent business owner. Kang Cheol slammed the table. I'm just a part-timer, and shouldn't market research be done near your own shop? Their complaints echoed in his ears. The Demon King and the hero exchanged looks. Not cute at all. Did we hire the wrong guy? Maybe we should have hired that dinosaur. Kang Cheol slammed both hands on the table. He stood up. I'm going to the restroom. The hero watched him leave. Is he sulking? The Demon King replied. Looks like it. An old woman approached. Aren't you the hero? A blonde man followed behind her. The hero bowed respectfully. Grandma. Long time no see. The Demon King looked baffled. Grandma? He stared in disbelief. So you're saying the owner of the second-ranked fried chicken brand, Grandma Chicken, is this old lady? And she's your cooking teacher? Then why is everything you learned from her, aside from fried chicken, so awful? The hero landed a heavy punch on the Demon King's face. Kang Cheol returned from the restroom. What happened? The hero answered casually, nothing. An employee rushed up to the blonde man. Manager, he whispered into the manager's ear. The manager's eyes widened. What did you say? The old lady asked, what's wrong? The manager reported to her, boss, something terrible has happened. The old lady's pupils suddenly shrank. Kang Cheol sensed something was wrong. What happened? The hero looked up too. What is it? The old lady pulled out a gun. Nobody move. I just got word that my family's heirloom has been stolen. That means every one of you is a suspect. Anyone who takes one step, I shoot. The three froze. Has she gone crazy? The hero said, you mean the secret recipe? Wasn't it in the sealed room? The old woman narrowed her eyes. I monitor that sealed room with no entrance every day using special surveillance that takes a photo every 5 minutes. She showed them the footage. This is the normal state. The secret recipe was still there, right? This was taken 5 minutes ago. The recipe bottle is gone. Beside it is a skeleton. Someone stole the recipe and ran. Everyone at the table turned pale. Kang Cheol pointed at the old lady. That's clearly a human skeleton, isn't it? A bullet grazed past his neck. The old woman pressed the gun under his chin. Don't worry about small details. What's important now is the recipe. Kang Cheol trembled all over. I almost returned just now. The hero sighed in admiration, as expected of a former A-rank hunter's persistence. Kang Cheol shouted, she's threatening us right now. The hero stood up. Given Grandma's personality, just being threatened means we're lucky. At the very least, we should go in and take a look. Maybe we'll find something. The manager blocked them. Shouldn't we wait for professional hunters? That wall is mithril alloy. With a deafening boom, a huge hole was blown through the mithril wall. The manager stared, dumbfounded. What has happened? He broke mithril alloy with his bare hands? The Demon King looked calm. We'll go in and see for ourselves. The group bent down to inspect it. These are bones, but not human bones. The hero picked up a bone. Too small, more like chicken bones. The Demon King's expression darkened. Only one kind of person does this. A necromancer. Kang Cheol asked, puzzled. A necromancer? I've never seen one. The hero explained. They're known for controlling corpses and ghosts, but making golems is also their specialty. They're very troublesome. The Demon King picked up a ring from the ground. One of the necromancer's spells is an exchange technique. They made a golem out of chicken bones, then used this ring to swap it with the secret recipe. The old lady stepped forward. So the owner of that ring is the culprit? The Demon King replied, probably. The old lady raised her gun. Is that so? She pressed the muzzle against the Demon King. Then you try it first. The Demon King looked confused. Impatiently, he slid the ring onto his finger. How annoying. The ring fit him perfectly. There, he lowered his head to look at his hand, pupils shrinking. Why is this happening? The old lady exploded with rage. Hand over the recipe now, and I'll only break 3 of your legs. The gun in her hand transformed. The body of the gun grew enormous. The Demon King backed away in terror. It wasn't me. Hero, say something. You were with me the whole time. The hero asked, then why did you do it? The Demon King roared, what nonsense are you talking about? You think you'll be safe if I die? Kong Cheol sighed. I seriously have to work with this idiot? The manager leaned toward the old woman. Boss, should I call hunters? The old woman raised an assault rifle. Call an ambulance too. We'll need to deal with a corpse. The Demon King yelled, if you're going to investigate everyone. Why only me? He glared at the manager. You bastard, take your hand out of your pocket. The manager's body stiffened. The old woman quickly stepped in front of the manager. He has 45 prior convictions, and he's worked here for years. Show us right now. The hero looked confused. Even if he isn't a necromancer, shouldn't you have suspected him first? The manager held out his hand. Several rings were clearly visible on his fingers. The hero gave a thumbs up. As expected of the Demon King. I believe you. The Demon King looked disdainful. You're only saying that now? The old lady barked. Manager, say something. The manager pulled out a red bottle and tipped back the liquid inside. The bottle shattered on the floor. The manager's body became shrouded in a faint glow. A scream echoed through the room. Kong Cheol cried out, is that a transformation potion? The old lady shouted, catch that thief. The manager dashed out of the fried chicken shop, fast as lightning. Holding the recipe bottle, he laughed wildly. Farewell, you idiots. I'm going to get rich with this fried chicken recipe. The hero raised his arm and shouted, let's go catch the thief and get the recipe back. Kong Cheol retorted, how does that make us any different from the thief? The Demon King folded his arms. I'm too lazy. I'm not going. The hero leaned in close to the Demon King. If we get that recipe, we can pay off our debt very quickly. The Demon King's pupils shook. Then he roared, what are we hesitating for? Move. Kong Cheol froze. Where did your conscience go? The Demon King and the hero shouted in unison, move out. For the recipe, Kong Cheol looked worn out. Ugh, I'm so tired. What will become of the recipe? On the rooftops of the slums, rows of shacks stretched all the way to the horizon. The manager ran at full speed, trails of energy lingering around him. Good thing I bought a strengthening potion from the black market. He grinned. Even among hunters, not many are this fast. His pupils suddenly contracted. What? Chaotic footsteps pounded behind him. A whole group was chasing him like mad, their shouts splitting the air. The hero roared, stop, thief. Give our recipe back. As he ran, Kong Cheol groaned. Can there not be one single peaceful day? The Demon King shouted. That bastard ran into the forest. Panting, the manager thought, why is everyone else fine? A bottle of powerful laxative had been opened. Green liquid slowly poured over food. Kong Cheol had already gone to the bathroom, and laxatives had no effect on the Demon King. The Demon King's face twisted. I'm going to kill you. The hero's body trembled, both fists clenched tight. The Demon King took the lead. Why are you so slow? The hero's face was pale, cold sweat streaming down. I can't hold it much longer. The Demon King kept chasing. You dared steal our recipe. You bastard, he suddenly froze. What? The hero suddenly leaped high, carving a white arc through the air. The Demon King stared in shock. Where are you going? As soon as the distance exceeded 100 meters, a glowing chain appeared around the Demon King's leg. He was yanked back, despair written all over his face. No, my recipe. Kong Cheol watched coldly. These two really are completely useless. The manager turned around, a sneer curling at his lips. Good, that guy's alone now. In that case, there's no reason to run. Light gathered at his fingertips. Necromancy. Skeletons summoning. The ground cracked apart. Countless rays of white light burst from the earth. One bony hand shot up, then a second, then a third. Rise. My children. He spread his arms, surrounded by a dense skeleton army. Go kill that gloomy bastard. The skeleton army surged forward, orange flames burning in their eye sockets. Bone claws flooded in like a tide, packed so densely it was overwhelming. Kong Cheol let out a light sigh. Do I really have to do everything myself? He reversed his grip on the dagger. Blue flashes streaked through the air. The skeleton soldiers shattered instantly into piles of white bones. The manager's pupils shrank. He destroyed all the skeleton soldiers in an instant. The manager raised his palm, red flames igniting in it. Rise again. The skeleton soldiers crawled back up from the ground, the flames in their sockets burning even brighter. They came lunging with jaws agape. Kong Cheol moved like lightning, weaving through the skeletons. His dagger traced deadly arcs of blue light. His eyes were ice cold, every movement precise and without waste. The manager gritted his teeth. Who the hell is this guy? Looks like I have no choice. He thrust out his palm. Countless glowing energy bullets shot forth like a rainstorm toward Kong Cheol. Kang Cheol planted his feet to one side. You're such a nuisance. He swung his dagger. Then he suddenly froze. The energy bullets erupted in blinding white light. After the white flash, thick white smoke filled the forest. Kang Cheol coughed violently, covering his mouth and nose. This isn't poison. It's smoke? He suddenly looked up. The manager had vanished. Looks like I'll have to chase him alone. The old lady suddenly appeared on his back. She pointed ahead. You'll repay your sins with your life. Kang Cheol looked horrified. Grandma. The manager glanced back confidently. Don't act like catching up means anything. Try this. His expression sank. The hero and the Demon King appeared. The Demon King scratched his head. I told you. This is the place, right? Kang Cheol shouted. Where'd you two go? The hero replied. Something came up. The manager smiled slyly. Looks like I have no choice. He pulled a dragon claw, glowing blue, from his pocket and stabbed it into the ground. Grinning, he said, I'll finish all of you right here. He raised his arm high, and a gigantic claw burst toward the sky. Kang Cheol gaped in shock. Is that a dragon claw? The old lady roared. You should have sold that instead. The hero's face turned grave. This seems to be getting more complicated. The massive dragon claw came crashing down. The manager laughed madly. You ignorant fools. I'll show you the gap in power. The dragon claw slammed down. The Demon King raised a hand. Purple flames blazed fiercely. So this is dragon bone? He laughed mockingly. From the way you were acting, I thought it was chicken bones. Kang Cheol threw himself to the ground, barely avoiding being burned. The old lady's eyes widened. Wait, purple flames? Could it be? The manager was blasted away by the flames, tumbling through the air. Help! The bottle containing the recipe flew from his grasp. The manager fell in horror. My wealth and glory. The hero smiled. Wealth and glory, huh? He patted the Demon King on the shoulder. All right, then let's remove some of that wealth and glory. The Demon King looked puzzled. But why are you grabbing me? The hero suddenly hurled the Demon King forward. Go! Remove his wealth and glory. The Demon King arced through the air toward a distant ravine. Kang Cheol and the old lady stared in disbelief. What is this? He just threw him? The manager struggled and reached out. Just a little more. The Demon King rushed in, grabbed his collar, and yanked him violently back. The manager watched in terror as the bottle fell toward the forest. No, my wealth and glory. The hero grabbed the chain. Good. He gave the chain a fierce yank, like a whip, dragging the Demon King back hard. Kang Cheol crouched down to look. But where's the recipe? The hero turned and smiled. Grandma, we caught him. That's good, right? The old woman's face darkened. Yes, very good, you bastard. You lost my recipe. The Demon King shoved the bound manager along. Let's go, you bastard. Kang Cheol waved. Boss, we're leaving now. The old woman spoke slowly. There's a dangerous person beside you. The hero turned his face slightly. It's complicated. Ours is a live-together, die-together kind of relationship. The old woman looked shocked. A married couple? The hero waved goodbye. Grandma, I'll come again next time. The old woman left alone. The three chatted as they walked. Kang Cheol complained loudly, come on. Isn't chicken a bad choice for a staff dinner? The old woman gripped her phone tightly. She raised the phone. Senior, long time no see. It's me. Tell the association chief to get on the line. She had social insurance. Mr. Park, a regular who had come for 2 weeks straight, nodded in approval. The fried chicken itself is already delicious. Depending on what you sprinkle on top, it becomes an endlessly varied ultimate dish. But why? He picked up a piece of fried chicken. Why do you only sell original fried chicken here? I'm getting tired of it. Why don't you sell seasoned fried chicken? Carrying beer, Kang Cheol walked to Mr. Park's table. Here's the beer you ordered. Mr. Park took the beer. Why are you the only one here today? We're the owner and that thug-looking guy. Kang Cheol sighed, his eyes hesitant. Those two. They said they were going to develop a new menu. Under a clear blue sky, white clouds drifted by. In a peaceful forest, a black vortex suddenly appeared in a clearing. It spun rapidly. The hunters whispered among themselves. The thieves' gang. 2 gatekeepers from the thieves' gang stood with their arms crossed, displaying a sign. Entrance fee, 500,000 won. No money, then get lost. The hunters erupted in outrage. One long-haired hunter yelled, What, 500,000? Are you kidding? This is completely illegal. The gatekeeper looked down at the crowd. You're all just C-ranks. What can you do? Didn't you see the sign below? This is a place we explore by risking our lives. A flag fluttered in the wind, bearing the emblem of the Black Sound Guild. Black portals all look similar on the outside. You can't determine their rank without entering them. The vortex is bottomless, energy surging within. It's a place where danger cannot be predicted. The guild risked their lives to explore it and rated this portal A rank. The B rank and C rank gatekeepers rubbed their fingers together, smiling shamelessly. We're only charging a small service fee. Got a problem with that? The male hunter flared up in anger, but the association already declared this illegal. The female hunter agreed. That's right. If you get caught here, the association chairman won't let you off. The gatekeeper stepped forward. Then let's see whether the chairman is closer to you or my fist. The two hunters instantly stiffened, frozen in place. The gatekeeper cracked his knuckles. You C-rank sure talk a lot. The man in red was Jong Il-do, a B-rank hunter of the Black Eagle Guild. The man in blue was Kim Sam-do, also a B-rank hunter of the Black Eagle Guild. The hunter party looked displeased. They reluctantly handed over the entrance fee. This is outright robbery. My entire savings. The gatekeepers smugly counted the bills. The Demon King and the hero stepped out from behind. The gatekeepers sized the two of them up. Haven't seen you before. Are you from around here? Kim Sam-do flashed a bright smile. First-time discount, 1,000,000 won. Suddenly, his pupils contracted. The hero smacked the back of his head with one slap and sent him flying. Why are we the only ones being charged 1,000,000? You bastards. You think you'll get away with this? Kim Sam-do crashed heavily to the ground. His cheeks swelled as he writhed in pain. Jong Il-do was horrified and clutched his head, screaming, "Brother!" The hero and the Demon King had already rushed into the Black Vortex. Jong Il-do gritted his teeth. Damn it, too late. He picked up his phone and made a call. A voice came from the other end. What happened? Jong Il-do looked flustered. Are you still inside the portal? I'll take that unfinished request from earlier. The person on the other end replied, the price is higher this time. No problem? Jong Il-do said, I don't care. At that moment, the hunter party entered, complaining about those complete scammers. 500,000 won doesn't fall from the sky, you know. A man with a sword stepped forward. Are you sure? Holding a long sword, he revealed a sinister smile. This time, you can't back out like last time. A-rank hunter and rookie killer Boris. Meanwhile, the hero and Demon King Papias were inside the tunnel. The hero asked, is this the right place? The Demon King spread his hands. Of course. He sensed something and suddenly turned around. He raised a hand to block. Then his face lit up with surprise. A little bee had appeared, trembling on his hand. The two raised their hands excitedly. Now we just need to find the hive. I heard the honey here tastes like beef. Then we can launch a new menu item, beef honey fried chicken. The Demon King turned and pointed ahead. Is the hive over there? Let's go. The male hunter stood in the darkness, trembling all over. Help me. His face was covered in blood and tears. He swayed on the verge of collapse. Please. Boris appeared behind him. Still alive, are you? Then he viciously drove his sword into the hunter's body. Boris looked at the hero and Demon King. Sorry, it's nothing personal. Just business, you know? The hero's gaze turned cold. That's not my problem. Did you kill all those people behind you? Boris grinned. That's right. I took a contract. His blood-stained sword emitted an ominous red glow. Even without a contract, aren't C-rank hunters breathing just a waste of air? The hive shook violently. The queen sensed the danger, and countless bees swarmed out. A giant storm bee flew forth, and the swarm merged into a black tornado. The storm's target was Boris, as a cloud of bees bore down on him like a dark sky collapsing. Boris looked up, his pupils shrinking. Are they coming for my energy? Gates. The Demon King and hero watched the scene before them. The swarm formed a massive black vortex. At the center of the vortex, a red light flickered. Then, with a thunderous roar, energy exploded. The shockwaves swept through the entire cave. The cavern shook violently, rocks raining down like hail. The blinding light dimmed the world. When the dust finally cleared, the Demon King stared ahead in astonishment. Who is that? A figure approached with heavy footsteps, one step at a time. Long time no see. Hero. The hero's pupils widened, his face full of shock. The man stood atop the ruins. Has it already been 200 years? 200 years ago, during the Dimensional War, heroes from every dimension gathered under the hero's leadership. They raised their weapons against a common enemy, and the mightiest organization, Nemesis, was born. But not everyone in Nemesis liked the hero. A red glow flickered in the red-haired man's eyes. I told you before. The next time we meet, I'll kill you. Nemesis, the goddess of vengeance recorded in ancient mythology. A weathered stone statue depicted his figure. The strongest heroes had gathered and named themselves Nemesis for one reason alone, a vow of vengeance against the demon race. Boris looked excited, his eyes wide. The legendary Nemesis, mankind's strongest living warrior, Namgung Joseph. Why is someone like him here? Light shot into the sky as Namgung Joseph raised his long-handled battle axe. Its blade shone with blinding light. Then he swung it down with force, sending a massive red slash ripping through the air. The slash swept across everything. Boris's pupille shrank, his face filled with horror. The Demon King coughed violently, while the hero stood beside him, his expression cold. A gigantic fissure split the earth apart, revealing a brilliant starry sky within, as if the entire world had been cleaved in two. Boris's chest was pierced through in an instant. Blood gushed out, and his face twisted in extreme shock. Splitting heaven and earth at the same time, it was unbelievable. The hero looked speechless. Namgung Joseph? Time rewound 200 years to the snowy plains of Wen. Namgung Joseph was sprawled on the ground. Stop. He trembled. Enough. He gasped painfully. If you keep this up, the next time we meet, I'll tear you to pieces. The hero remained expressionless. As you wish. The hero gave a faint smile. Long time no see, so you still remember. Namgung Joseph's huge axe pointed at the hero. I'm here to keep my promise. But before that, there's something I want to ask you. His eyes sharpened. Did you really betray us? And if so, why are you fighting alongside the Demon King? The hero said calmly, I did not betray you. Namgung Joseph frowned. Then, a red flash blazed, and his enormous blade instantly slashed toward the Demon King. The hero raised a hand to stop him, calm-faced. There are reasons behind this. Namgung Joseph's gaze turned icy. The Demon King is dead. The traitor hero vanished. What exactly are the two of you to each other? The Demon King grinned and draped an arm over the hero. You can see it yourself. Why even ask? We're protecting each other. Namgung Joseph's fury erupted. White light flared in his eyes. Sky Splitter. He swung his giant axe, and a dazzling slash tore across the sky. Mountains exploded with a deafening blast. The energy shockwave spread in every direction, forcing the hero and Demon King backward. They slid several meters along the ground before regaining their footing. The Demon King steadied himself and rose. The hero asked, Papias, where are you going? The Demon King clenched his fists. Because getting hit isn't my style. The hero stretched out a hand to stop him, alarmed. No, you're too weak right now. The Demon King bared his fangs. I am stronger. Namgung Joseph's eyes turned pale white, purple-red energy gathering around his fist. 100-step divine fist. He threw a punch that struck the Demon King's chest head-on. The Demon King groaned and was blasted away by the force. He tumbled through the air. Namgung Joseph stared coldly. Grow up. The hero kicked toward Joseph's face with a fierce motion. Joseph's pupils contracted, his face full of shock. Then his eyes hardened. High-temperature magic. Blazing energy ignited in his palm. Words of purgatory. The energy erupted instantly, forming a massive ring of fiery shockwaves. The hero was blown backward, catching himself with one hand on the ground. This won't work. The Demon King looked at him. What can you do? Golden light gathered around the hero. I'll end it in one blow. The Demon King sat on the ground. I'll support you. The hero's eyes were resolute. No need. The Demon King blinked. What? The hero said, against someone at that level, I can win without your help. Joseph raised his giant axe. The two powers collided violently. Golden light and red light intertwined, bursting into a blinding white glare. The hero stared at him in disbelief. So first you provoke me, then look for an opening? What's wrong with you? Don't you have anything more special? Joseph's eyes sharpened. Is that so? Then I'll finish you in one strike. The hero stamped the ground, launching forward like an arrow. Golden radiance blazed from his fist. Let's end this here. Joseph's eyes glowed red-white, purple-red energy erupting around him. Heaven-rending space-time slash. The two ultimate powers were about to collide. Smoke spread everywhere, and the air was thick with dust and the scent of burning. The Demon King panted. Did he beat him? Then his pupils suddenly shrank. A giant axe stopped in front of him, its blade wrapped in ominous red light. Blood stained the hero's chest. His head hung low. Namgung Joseph raised his eyes. That's one down. He looked toward the distant Demon King. I'll send the other one after him soon. The Demon King's laughter rang out. Namgung Joseph narrowed his eyes. Have you gone mad? The Demon King spoke. It's just been a long time. His gaze mocked Joseph. Are you senile? A guy like that doesn't die. The hero's voice came from behind. Begin. Namgung Joseph jolted in shock. The hero looked at the stain on his clothes. This ketchup won't come off no matter how much I wipe it. He looked at Namgung Joseph. Do you have a death wish? Namgung Joseph burned with fury. The giant axe tore through the air, slamming down with red light. The hero lightly stepped on the axe handle. You really do love sneak attacks. Namgung Joseph quickly retreated. Shock filled his face. Impossible. Ever since that day of humiliation, I have never stopped training. The number of times I've swung my blade is as countless as the stars in the sky. I read every magic book in the world. For 200 years, I only did one thing. Training. Everything was to surpass you. The hero scratched his head, looking utterly unconcerned. You used to be kind of cute. Namgung Joseph trembled with rage and roared, "Shut up." He swung the great axe, red flames erupting from his whole body. The hero let out a soft sigh. You brought this on yourself. Golden light burst from the hero's body. The ground shattered and debris floated into the air. The shackles on his wrists began to glow. The hero suddenly jolted. These handcuffs are draining my power. His eyes flickered. I sensed a strange energy just now. The fluctuation came from his wrists, where the runes on the shackles lit up one by one. The hero's gaze sharpened. That damn bastard pulled an interesting little trick on me. He clenched his fist. Whatever. Joseph raised a giant axe. Heavenly Hunt's secret art. His eyes were fierce. Bloody night. The giant axe came crashing down with a blood-red afterimage. The hero, transformed into golden light, charged head-on. The two forces collided with a thunderous blast. Joy filled Joseph's eyes. I won. Even you can't block this move. The hero emerged from the flames. Did you think you were the only one who trained for 200 years? I did too, and my opponent was the worst possible one. The image of the Demon King flashed through his mind, a madman who treated training like entertainment. He threw a punch. Don't take it too hard. Joseph was left speechless. A golden pillar of light shot into the sky, tearing through the clouds. The Hunter Association headquarters stood in the morning light. A suited employee burst into the office. Mayor Lee. Mayor Lee looked at him calmly. What is it? The employee was flustered. A massive energy explosion was detected in the Eastern District. Mayor Lee's mouth fell open in shock. What? The chairman was there too. The grand Vatican-like building stood solemnly in the twilight. Behind a sheer curtain, a figure could be seen faintly. A woman stood with her back to the door. It's confirmed. You've returned. The hero's shout rang out from the fried chicken shop. If you're going to lie, at least put some effort into it. Kong Cheol glared at the two in front of him. What's your excuse for slacking off all day? Why would Chairman Namgung Joseph come to a place like this? You idiots. And where's the new menu? The hero expressionlessly said, right here. Kong Cheol was startled. What? A plate of fried chicken shone with golden light. The new menu. Honey beef fried chicken. The hero stuffed a piece of chicken into Kong Cheol's mouth. Stop complaining. Try it. Kong Cheol looked full of resistance. In the restaurant, the Demon King and Kong Cheol dropped to their knees and vomited. Stormby honey was completely inedible. Kong Cheol grabbed the Demon King's collar. Did you make this garbage just so you could slack off? The Demon King snapped back. How is this my fault? He made it, so why don't you yell at him? The hero quietly watched them argue. The scene reminded him of when he first learned to cook. A blue-haired woman looked agonized. Hero, you don't need to cook anymore. Joseph's eyes were dark. If you ever touch ingredients again, I'll kill you. The hero smiled. Still, I've improved a lot since then. The two turned back and looked at him in fear. Namgung Joseph lay on the barren ground, his giant axe fallen to one side. He slowly opened his eyes. Was I defeated? A voice rang out. Looks like it. Namgung Joseph struggled to raise his head. Who are you? President Shin looked down at him. For now, you can say I'm the owner of a fried chicken shop. His tone was relaxed. That part doesn't matter. Want to work with me? You want to kill the hero, don't you? So do I. Resting his chin on one hand, he smiled brightly. More precisely, think of it as an investment. Accept the power I offer and achieve your goal. He held out his hand. Deal. A red light flashed. Namgung Joseph looked at him with contempt. There are two things I hate. One is the hero. The other is flies. President Shin emerged from a green light. Is that so? I hate one thing too. His smile turned playful. Upstart little hunters who don't know their place. The Hunter Association headquarters, a glass tower, pierced into the clouds. In the conference room, the projector hung silently. What happened? He still hasn't shown up today? A woman with long black hair gracefully raised her hand. Is the rumor true that the chairman is dead? She was Chong-un, the guild master of the Blue Snake Guild, one of the 4 great guilds. A man in a green suit lounged with his feet on the table and said, "That bastard is dead?" He laughed mockingly. Might as well say the earth was destroyed. He may be unlucky, but he's the strongest human alive. He was Carlos, the guild master of one of the 4 great guilds. Chong-un lifted her eyelids slightly. Then what could have happened? Camilla? Camilla flinched. Wearing a striped shirt and clutching documents, she looked nervous. A blonde, crew-cut man grinned. Is he really dead? He was the guild master of the White Tiger Guild. Another man crossed his arms. Would it make you happy? He was the guild master of the Golden Bear Guild. Everyone turned to Camilla. Say something. Is he really dead? Inside, Camilla grew anxious. I have to find him quickly. The 4 guild masters each had their own agenda, and the atmosphere was heavy. This was a major problem. Morning sunlight spilled across the fried chicken shop's glass door. The hero wiped down a table. Seeing the figure at the entrance, he said, "We're not open yet." Then he recognized the visitor. "You?" A pink dinosaur stood at the door, smiling. The Demon King was preparing ingredients in the back kitchen. He glanced over. "Long time no see. Looking for a part-time job?" The pink dinosaur turned serious. "I'll get straight to the point." His legs gave out, and he dropped to his knees. "Please, help me." The hero looked confused. "So you're saying someone from the association is missing, and you want us to help find him?" The Demon King set down a plate of fried chicken. The dinosaur stared at the food. "Yes." The hero didn't understand. "We're just a fried chicken shop. Why come to us?" The dinosaur looked up. "You were caught on Black Eagle Guild surveillance footage." A hidden camera in the greenery had been watching everything. Ordinary fried chicken shop owners would not enter a black portal just for ingredients. And there was a large discrepancy between the time you were recorded and the time the portal appeared. He raised his fork. The moment the chairman's energy disappeared, I formed a hypothesis. He speared a piece of fried chicken. The chairman went alone to a C-rank portal in the suburbs. He stuffed the fried chicken into his mouth. If his power erupted, then it means a battle happened. The only ones who could fight the chairman and survive are them. The strongest hero party from 200 years ago, the members of Nemesis. The Hunter Association, the biggest armed organization in New Seoul, was now on the verge of splitting apart. The hero looked puzzled. Does Namgung Joseph really have that much influence? The pink dinosaur explained, the current association survives entirely because of the chairman's control over the 4 great guilds. The emblems of the 4 guilds, snake, bear, tiger, were shown linked together by an iron chain. But now the chairman is missing. The chain has snapped. How do you think those who crave power will move? As fellow members of Nemesis, you must be strong. So please help us. The hero refused at once. Not only does it sound troublesome, the dinosaur froze. The hero pointed at his clothes. What do you think I'm wearing right now? The dinosaur answered, a fried chicken shop uniform. The hero gave a thumbs up. Exactly. I'm just an ordinary fried chicken shop owner. My dream is to pay off my debts and become a millionaire. I just want a normal, comfortable life. The pink dinosaur tilted his head. A member of Nemesis and a returner hardly sounds ordinary. From the corner, Kong Cheol shouted, "You knew I was hiding there and still didn't say anything?" He stood up, looking displeased. The dinosaur wiped his mouth with a napkin. "It seems I left out some information." He introduced himself. "I am Camilla Bernstein, acting chairman of the Hunter Association. My official duty today is a local inspection, but I've also leaked some information. In other words, I'm acting in secret to treat the dying association chairman." The refrigerator hummed loudly. The Demon King shouted in alarm. What was that? The fried chicken shop's ceiling suddenly exploded, chunks of cement flying everywhere. The Demon King clutched his head and screamed, "Ah, the repair bill for the ceiling." Kong Cheol pointed upward. "That's not the point. What the hell is that?" Special Forces soldiers rappelled down from above, quickly landing on the floor. Gun barrels surrounded them. "This is the Greenland Guild Special Forces," Camilla said. "If you help, your reward is guaranteed. Otherwise, you'll never know peace." "What do you say?" An armed helicopter circled overhead. Inside, a man in a suit looked at his aide. "Sending this many people after a fried chicken shop? The order is to capture them alive, right?" The aide remained expressionless. "That's right." The suited man adjusted his glasses and revealed a sinister smile. "But whether they stay alive, my men can be rather rough." He picked up a communicator. "Rot Squad, report in." Painful sounds came from the communicator, followed by terrified whispers. "Monster!" The transmission abruptly cut off. The man's expression changed dramatically. "What did you say?" The hero and Demon King lunged at them. Kong Cheol and the dinosaur followed, right behind. The assistant flying the helicopter turned pale. "What's going on? Who are you people?" The hero and Demon King sat calmly in the helicopter seats, their expressions cold. The assistant trembled as a dagger touched his throat. The hero spoke evenly. Did you bring a parachute? The assistant, the suited man, and the four who had descended from the sky were now all inside the helicopter. The Demon King asked, "Are we there yet?" The pink dinosaur looked grim. "Almost. The problem is, we've picked up a tail." An armed helicopter was flying close behind them. And not just one. More helicopters poured in like a swarm of bees. The formation opened fire all at once. Bullets poured down like rain, sparks exploding inside the cabin. Everyone clutched their heads and screamed. The Demon King leaned out of the cabin, one hand gripping the door, purple flames igniting in the other. "Do you think you're the only ones with guns?" A beam of purple energy shot straight toward the pursuing helicopter. The Demon King laughed boldly. Bullets kept striking the aircraft, sparks flying. A golden flash appeared in the hero's eyes. He looked at his apron. "Damn it, this is my only set of clothes." A soldier scanned through his scope. Where did that woman go? The hero stomped on his gun. Kong Cheol stared in disbelief and shouted in terror, "Boss, why are you out there?" The Demon King looked back in confusion. "What? Who is where?" The hero stomped straight through the helicopter roof. Too far. The Demon King was suddenly yanked out. Kong Cheol shouted, "No way." The boss and the Demon King both fell out. The pink dinosaur reassured him. "Don't worry. Everything is going according to plan. We've already reached our destination." The rotorcraft suddenly shook violently and spun as it dropped, then exploded with a huge blast. Dust billowed everywhere. Kong Cheol lay on the ground, covered in dirt. "So this was part of your plan too?" A group of black-robed figures surrounded them. The pink dinosaur stood with hands on hips, looking proud. "Yes, everything is going according to plan." 200 years ago, a sun totem emerged in the darkness. During the dimensional war, countless sufferers sought answers from the gods. 7 hooded believers stood in a circle. The gods took pity on them. A hand reached out from the darkness, sharing divine power with the followers. That power split into 2 beams of light, one rising, one descending. Together, they joined forces to protect the people. One believer raised both hands to receive the divine power falling from heaven, while the others stood solemnly with bowed heads. This became today's Hunter Association, and also the religious order that used its power to divide the world in two. Several uniformed cultists gathered golden energy in their hands. A pickaxe was raised high. Kong Cheol smashed it hard against the rock wall. The pickaxe rose and fell again. 2 men watched Kong Cheol. One of them said, "Wow, is it the new guy who came in this year? He's really giving it his all." A prisoner called out loudly, "Take a break. Have some water." Kong Cheol carried the pickaxe, smiling through the sweat. "Okay, I'll come after I finish this bit." The smile froze on his face, and his expression went blank. "What exactly am I doing right now?" He let out a long sigh, his eyes empty. A harsh shout rang out. "You brat, how dare you break in here on your own?" Kong Cheol fell to the ground in fright. A group of people stood before him. He hurriedly waved his hands in explanation. "We had our reasons." He turned to look beside him. "Hey, say something too." But the dinosaur was already gone. "Where did you go?" Kong Cheol screamed in panic. "We're done for." He pushed a cart full of broken stones, his steps heavy. "The cult has a place like this?" Was the plan really to dig rocks until we die? A supervisor stood nearby, while miners trudged forward carrying heavy sacks. A prisoner from the order spoke up. "This used to be a place for reforming heretics. They held serious criminals who opposed the cult here, or heretics who followed demons. But everything changed after he came." A hand wearing a gold ring lightly stroked the iron bars. Valentino, a cardinal, a fat man, stood on the balcony with an evil smile on his face, looking down over everything. That old monster started forcibly demanding enormous donations. Anyone who couldn't pay, even innocent people, got dragged here for forced labor. A civilian was shoved forward roughly by cultists with his hands tied behind his back. Kong Cheol held his chin, looking confused. "They're even arresting innocent people? Why?" The prisoner patted him on the back. "Still, don't worry too much. Even under such unfair conditions, there's a priest who speaks up for us. That's something at least. If you act like me and become a model prisoner, you'll be out soon enough." He grinned. "Good luck, young man." Kong Cheol forced out a smile. "Okay." A man came over. "Prisoner, hurry up. We need to process your release." The prisoner from the order waved goodbye and turned to follow him away. A supervisor rang an iron bell. "Mealtime. Move it." Kong Cheol hurled the pickaxe in his hand to the ground. The supervisor lashed his whip. How dare you waste muscle? Kong Cheol curled up on the ground in pain. In the woods, the hero looked at Kong Cheol's bruised and swollen face. So you got separated from Camilla? Kong Cheol snapped back emotionally. We didn't break up. I got dumped. The hero crossed his arms. First, we need to find Camilla. No matter what, we have to help him get the reward. But how are we supposed to find him now? The hero smiled confidently. Don't worry, I've already started looking. He clasped his hands together. His vision zoomed rapidly, passing through the forest and locking onto a target building. His eyes lit up. The hero and Kong Cheol turned at the same time. What? You found Camilla? The Demon King sat slumped on the ground, looking dead inside. The hero sighed. I should have known. Got my hopes up for nothing. The Demon King muttered, You bastards. I can hear you. His expression turned serious. But I did find something suspicious. He pointed into the distance. That building over there. More precisely, beneath that building. That's the only area I can't scan. Kong Cheol looked thoughtful. That place. The hero turned to him. Do you know what it is? Kong Cheol nodded. That model prisoner guy from earlier went into that building. The Demon King said, There's powerful interference magic there. Even my scanning spell can't penetrate it. Then let's investigate it first. Suddenly, an angry roar rang out. During work hours, where do you think you're going? Two supervisors strode over, swinging their whips. The hero and Demon King immediately grabbed Kong Cheol. Sorry, this guy tried to run. We were stopping him. Kong Cheol screamed in terror. What are you saying? The supervisors approached with cold smiles. Is that so? Then this friend needs some special reform. The hero whispered, We'll become model prisoners, then infiltrate that place. Cooperate for now. The supervisor raised his whip high. Step 1 of reform. Beat him first. Kong Cheol was pinned down tightly. He howled in despair, You devils. A hand reached out. Wait. That hand blocked everyone and stopped the violence. The two supervisors stepped back in panic. Bishop, a figure in a white hooded robe, spoke. Assist him. He was Bishop Giovanni of the Holy Order. Kong Cheol looked puzzled. That face looks familiar. Where have I seen him before? The two black-robed men were alarmed. Bishop Giovanni. Kong Cheol's eyes widened. Giovanni, one of the current top 10 strongest, second only to the Heaven Punisher. Giovanni curled up slightly. What crime did he commit? How could you step on him as if he were an insect? The supervisor trembled. I wasn't treating him like a bug, the hero muttered. So it's him. Ever since he arrived in this region, rumors have been everywhere. I heard the church chooses model prisoners, then helps them escape. Kong Cheol held his chin, eyes flickering. The sky was clear, white clouds drifting. A prisoner with a character for coin on his back stood before a huge rock. The crowd whispered among themselves. The white-haired prisoner inhaled deeply. 40 years of mining experience. There's no rock I can't break. He roared, I'll smash it open in one hit. Another prisoner shoved him aside. Move. This pickaxe is mine. Wrapped in purple light, the pickaxe slammed into the giant rock. It exploded apart, purple sparks flying. The two supervisors stared dumbfounded. Amazing. That stance is just like the Mind Demon King. The Demon King slung the pickaxe over his shoulder and bared his fangs. Reform subject number 6666. Outside the cave, two supervisors walked toward a crude dining table. One of them grumbled, I hope they change shifts soon. I am starving. Lately the food has had no taste at all. He picked up his tray. A piece of fried chicken appeared on it, golden and crisp. He stared at the fried chicken on the tray in shock. We eat garbage every day, and I get chicken here? This is incredible. The hero picked up a piece of fried chicken. Reform subject number 1004. He handed the chicken out. The supervisors cheered. It's the fried chicken angel. Kong Cheol watched all this with a complicated expression. Did they really have to go this far? Sunlight filtered through the forest leaves. The Demon King roared, because you ruined your chance. You were supposed to just take the beating and pass out. Kong Cheol looked irritated. For crying out loud. He raised one finger. There's still a chance. We just need to make a good impression on those people. I heard it from a model prisoner who just got out. The bishop only accepts recommendations from the guards. Anyway, it's a system that evaluates and selects prisoners based on attitude, ability, and enthusiasm. One evaluator asked, Reform subject number 6852, other than smashing rocks, do you have any other skills? Number 6852 looked nervous. That's all I have. The evaluator announced, what a pity. We only take 6 model prisoners. Smashing rocks is too ordinary. It can't be helped. Reform 101 dicen que entestent no 6852 eliminative. Kong Cheol declared, we have to make the top 6. The Demon King swung his pickaxe and smashed rocks. The hero continued handing out fried chicken. Kong Cheol looked at the scene before him. This is honestly terrifying. He rolled up his sleeves. But I can't lose. The sunset dyed the sky red. Giovanni announced the final result. The sixth and final model prisoner is number 1515. The model prisoner selection is now over. Kang Cheol clenched his fists in excitement. I did it. All my hard work paid off. He imagined himself shining brilliantly while the supervisors cheered for him. But then he crouched on the ground, clutching his head. I worked so hard. Where did those two go? He grabbed a man nearby. Do you know what happened to that white-haired woman and that dark-skinned man? The other man looked up blankly. You mean the fried chicken angel and the Mind Demon King? The Mind Demon King attacked the other prisoners, and people who ate the fried chicken angel's chicken collapsed in pain. The cook was covered in cold sweat. Could it be there wasn't even any meat in those ingredients? Because they distributed inferior ingredients. Both of them were placed in solitary confinement. Kang Cheol's body swayed. He nearly fell over. Grabbing his own hair hard, he forced himself to steady up. It's fine. Something this minor was within expectations. Giovanni waved to the prisoners. You've all worked hard. Now, let us go process your release. Kang Cheol's gaze firmed. Right? Nothing else matters now. He walked forward under the sunlight, his steps firm. The grand building bathed in the setting sun. Footsteps echoed between the stone walls as the prisoners followed the clergy down the stairs. Kang Cheol looked around. Why are we going underground? Giovanni answered lightly. It's nothing special. A massive door slowly opened, light pouring out from within. You've all worked hard. I prepared a simple meal. A long dining table was filled with a lavish feast. Giovanni smiled. Once dinner is over, we'll process your release immediately. Please enjoy the banquet. The prisoners rushed toward the table with loud cheers. One of them wolfed food down. So good. Is this what freedom tastes like? Kang Cheol stayed where he was. This is way too suspicious. He watched the food warily. Suddenly, one prisoner dropped stiffly to the floor. Then the others collapsed across the table one after another, foam spilling from their mouths. Kang Cheol looked terrified. I knew it would. When did he? Suddenly, darkness clouded his vision. Giovanni pinned him hard against the table. I specially prepared these expensive dishes. What a waste. Is it because you're lowly insects? The grand banquet hall glittered magnificently, the ceiling covered in elaborate carvings. The long table was loaded with food. Several men in blue clothes lay slumped over it, motionless. Giovanni raised a hand and ordered the black-robed people before him. Dispose of these bugs properly. A group of hooded figures bowed and replied, Yes, Bishop Giovanni. They were a rebel faction within the Holy Order. Shadowy night covered the stone corridor, while torches cast wavering light on the walls. Two cloaked men dragged the corpse of a man in blue, struggling toward an iron-barred gate. This is a pain, but today is the last day. It's almost over. Let's get rid of it quickly. Kang Cheol's head moved slightly. One of the cloaked men suddenly turned around, his eyes sweeping the surroundings. No, wait, there was one more. Where did he go? Kang Cheol dropped down from above. The cloaked men looked up in shock. What? Kang Cheol kicked both cloaked men, then landed steadily on the ground. He held the keys in his hand and shook them lightly. Then his eyes narrowed. Before the return, Giovanni had once been one of the 10 strongest Dimension-class warriors, one of humanity's protectors, fighting against the demon race. But Giovanni eventually betrayed humanity. He used modified humans to create a chimera army, hoping to seize control of the Order through all-out war. In the end, Giovanni failed and was executed by the Pope. Anyone captured by the cult would die in this disaster. He walked through the empty stone corridor. I see. So this is how he gathered the Chimera army. A voice called from ahead. Is anyone there? Hearing it, Kang Cheol turned around. A prisoner from the Order clutched the iron bars, eyes full of terror. Please save me. Kang Cheol recognized him. You're that model prisoner guy. He inserted a key into the lock. Wait, this lock is hard to open. I'm looking for the right key. The prisoner urged him on. That thing is about to come. Kang Cheol finally found the key. It's okay. I dealt with those cultists. Suddenly a giant lump of flesh appeared. It grinned hideously, skin wrinkled, muscles knotted in bulging masses. Kang Cheol turned back. He quickly ducked into the cell, then let out a sigh. Good thing. The model prisoner clutched his head. Now you're trapped in here too. Kang Cheol looked at him calmly. Being trapped in here is actually a good thing. See that drool? If we go out now, we'll be its lunch. He held up a jingling ring of keys. Luckily, I at least have the keys. Though it seems the monster can't get through the bars. It looks pretty stupid, so it can't get in. The monster let out a thunderous roar and tore at the bars with brute force. The iron bars bent completely. Kang Cheol cursed. I didn't account for its strength. The model prisoner screamed in panic, "It's coming." Camilla suddenly appeared. "Relax. Everything is going according to plan." Kang Cheol whipped his head around. "That same old line again?" Camilla pressed the device on his wrist. "Now I'll eliminate the threat. Dragon suit, activate." The monster charged with its claws raised. Camilla quickly transformed into a dinosaur shell and lashed out with an agile kick. The monster staggered, but kept its footing. Camilla froze slightly. It actually tanked that. "It's tougher than I thought." Then, on to the next plan. The monster opened its bloody maw and let out a deafening roar. The dinosaur shell emitted blue light. Ultimate skill, water breath. A massive blue energy beam instantly swallowed the monster. Its enormous body collapsed with a thunderous crash, kicking up dust everywhere. Camilla looked smug. Threat eliminated. Kang Cheol asked where exactly he had gone. Camilla explained that thanks to him, he had been able to infiltrate the facility immediately. That was how he got into the bishop's office and obtained the internal documents. Giovanni's method was to cultivate chimeras created by combining humans and monsters. That was where he learned that Giovanni was the leader of the rebel faction within the Holy Order. His goal was to assassinate the Pope and seize control of the Order. Kang Cheol clicked his tongue in disbelief. Camilla put his hands on his hips. "You little returner brat. You're getting more and more arrogant." Kang Cheol complained that if he had shared the intel earlier, they would not have had to go through all this trouble. Camilla said that seeing Giovanni had only made him remember. What mattered was the contents of the documents. They had also obtained information on the Hunter Association chairman's location. He looked around. "Where are the other two now? Let's go find them." Kang Cheol slapped his forehead. "I forgot about them for a moment. I just hope they haven't caused any trouble." The night sky glittered with stars. A faint light spilled from a tightly shut iron-barred window. A guard supervisor walked along the stone path. There was no one around. "What's going on? Where did everyone go?" Then he heard a sound of struggling. A man was tied up like a bundle, gagged, writhing desperately on the ground. Another one had been trussed up and hung upside down from the prison bars, muffled groans coming from his mouth. The supervisor shouted, "Where did those two bastards go?" Meanwhile, the Demon King and the hero were lying on the roof, looking down below. Night draped over a magnificent building. Its dome glimmered coldly in the dark. The Demon King and the hero broke into a run, fleeing desperately from the danger behind them. Several uniformed men staggered back in terror. One of them sucked in a sharp breath. Then came a thunderous boom. Dust blasted into the air. Three figures stared at the shockwave in the distance. One of them asked with a trembling voice, "What was that?" The Demon King and the hero sprinted for the only exit with their lives on the line. Alarm sirens blared throughout the prison. The guards went pale. The prisoners are escaping. The hero dusted off his hands. In a calm voice, he corrected them. "This is infiltration." In a screening room, someone sat before the control console, staring at the chaos on the monitors. He slammed a red button. A piercing alarm rang through the prison's second underground level. The Demon King looked horrified. The infiltration failed. "What do we do now?" "We have to find that dinosaur." The hero remained composed. "There's something more important than that." His eyes gleamed with excitement, and the corners of his mouth lifted into a delighted curve. The shrill alarm echoed on as red lights flashed wildly along the walls. A prison guard shouted an order. "It's on the upper floors. Everyone move to the first floor." The guards rushed up the stairs, their footsteps clattering chaotically through the corridor. Kang Cheol peeked out from behind a corner. "It sounds pretty chaotic upstairs. It can't be the boss and the Demon King, can it?" Camilla's expression hardened. "This is our chance. Let's go." Kang Cheol asked, "So we're heading to the third underground level?" Camilla answered, "Yes. The laboratory on B3. They turn model prisoners into chimeras there. The chairman is in the innermost part of that lab." The two arrived in front of door. "Is it here? Are the guards really this lax around here?" Kang Cheol quietly pushed the door open and peered inside through the crack. Camilla asked in a low voice, "What do you see?" Kang Cheol's pupils suddenly contracted. A crowd of prisoners was packed in front of the door. He stepped inside. "I think we came the wrong way. This is the route downward. The exit is on the other side." He placed a hand on one prisoner's shoulder. The man turned around. His skin was rotten and fangs jutted from his mouth. Kang Cheol jumped in fright and lashed out with a kick, the noise alerting the entire group. The rotten prisoners lunged at them with shrieks, their twisted arms stretching forward. Camilla shouted a warning. "Watch out! Back door!" A huge dragon tail swept through the air. Kong Cheol clenched his teeth. Damn it! He finally understood why there had been no one around. A group of grotesquely muscled monsters poured out from around the corner, baring their teeth in eerie grins. Camilla pressed a button and attached something to Kong Cheol. Kong Cheol shouted in panic. "What are you doing?" A purple membrane of light wrapped around him. Startled, he asked, "What is this?" "A shield," Camilla replied. "Special protective equipment. Squishy dino egg." He clenched his fist. "This is our last resort. We're taking a shortcut." A tremendous crash rang out. Rubble flew in every direction. Kong Cheol crawled out of the pile of debris and raised both hands. "We're alive." He looked up blankly. "You can fly?" Camilla looked at him as if it were obvious. "Dinosaurs can fly. Common sense." Kong Cheol corrected him. "Those are pterosaurs. Still, at least we landed safely." Camilla tapped a finger and lit up a virtual screen. "This is B3. We're right next to that secret room now." Kong Cheol could hardly believe it. Really, the two stood before a door. "So this is the secret chamber. Whatever's inside, we have to go in." Kong Cheol placed his hand on the door and gently pushed it open. He glanced around. "It's more ordinary than I expected. I thought they'd be doing human experiments in here." Camilla pointed at an object in the room. "That belongs to the chairman." A white fur collar hung over the mantelpiece. Kong Cheol walked to a desk and let out a puzzled sound. A letter lay on the desk. The envelope bore a green wax seal engraved with the letter G. "Isn't that the crest of the Grimodi family?" His pupils shrank sharply. "Wait, Grimodi." His expression changed completely. "Camilla, this is dangerous." Camilla looked innocent. What? Kong Cheol shouted in alarm. "This room belongs to Bishop Giovanni." Suddenly, a sound came from beyond the door. Giovanni entered the room with a cloaked man. Giovanni spoke first. "So you're saying 2 prisoners are causing trouble upstairs?" The cloaked man nodded. "Yes." Giovanni walked toward the wardrobe. "The experiments are already keeping us busy enough, and now a few little rats have shown up." Kong Cheol and Camilla curled up inside the wardrobe. "Damn it, I didn't think they'd come straight in here." Giovanni's gaze was cold. "Should we capture them and turn them into chimeras or tear them to pieces?" Kong Cheol trembled all over. "Please, just leave already. Please." The wardrobe door slowly cracked open. Kong Cheol looked terrified. "What do we do?" The wardrobe door swung open. Inside, there were only a few clothes. Giovanni asked, "Are all preparations complete?" The cloaked man bowed his head. "Yes. The preparations to activate the angel are complete, Bishop." Giovanni shut the wardrobe door. "Good. Then let's go." He turned back with a smile. "To the house of heaven." The wardrobe door shook, and Kong Cheol and Camilla jumped out. "I thought I was going to suffocate to death." Kong Cheol lay sprawled on the floor. "We were this close to being discovered. Did they really leave?" Camilla pressed himself against the door. "I can't hear anything. Looks like they're gone. But what is this angel? It doesn't sound like the winged angels the church talks about. Does something like that really exist?" Kong Cheol thought it over. "No, it doesn't. The problem is they're trying to create something that doesn't exist." A green flag fluttered in the wind. In its center was an ornate letter G, Grimodi, one of the 3 great holy families that founded the church. They had believed their power eternal and their corruption without end. They had thought no one could judge them. Giovanni knelt on the ground, tears streaming down his face. "Forgive me." Flames devoured everything. A bloody purge had begun. Firelight stained the night sky red. Screams rose one after another. The air reeked of burning flesh and rust. A blue-haired girl stood in a pool of blood with a warhammer in hand. They should have known when to stop. Giovanni was one of the survivors of that bloody purge. Hatred burned in his eyes. The surviving Giovanni swore revenge. He lived his entire life for that revenge alone. The 2 peered out from behind the door. Kong Cheol spoke. "To power the angel, they'd need nearly infinite mana. That's definitely suspicious. Getting that much mana isn't easy. Where on earth are they planning to get it from?" Camilla suddenly grabbed Kong Cheol by the collar and lifted him up. The ground exploded. A deformed monster burst up from beneath it. Kong Cheol dropped to the floor. "What the?" "We're surrounded by chimeras," Camilla whispered in horror. "He already knew we were here." Giovanni grinned, his expression twisted. "Is there a problem with a bishop approaching a pair of trespassers?" Giovanni shook his head. "I was only curious what kind of expression trapped rats would make." He turned and walked forward. More importantly, the moment to realize our great undertaking has finally arrived. He tilted his head slightly. We did receive a bit of outside help. There was a knock at the door. Giovanni rested a hand on the desk. At this hour? Have you gone mad? President Shin stood there with a bright smile. Hello, I came to bring you good news. Giovanni said, I don't know how you got in here, but President Shin softly said, the angel. Giovanni's pupils shook. What? President Shin leaned against the doorframe. You ran into trouble while creating the angel, didn't you? A flash of red light. A blade was suddenly at his throat. Giovanni held the weapon, his eyes wary. Who are you? President Shin paid no mind to the blade. Does that really matter right now? He smiled. What matters is that I have a solution. Well, want to hear it, Giovanni said. Your intentions are highly suspicious, but I have no other choice. He turned to lead the way. Then come quickly to the house of heaven. A magnificent gate appeared before them. The hero looked up. So this is the house of heaven. Is this it? A man in a winter cap knelt on the ground. Yes, this is the place. Please spare my life. The hero looked down at him. Good. So there are lots of expensive magic stones in here, right? 1 hour earlier, the Demon King looked at the pile of people in front of him. So what you're saying is we're going to rob the church treasury? The hero answered, yes. They've been extorting donations lately. A huge amount of wealth must have piled up there. The Demon King turned his head. I don't know much about humans, but do heroes normally steal other people's money too? The hero's eyes went cold. Our shop got blown up, remember? If anything goes wrong, we'll just pin it on the dinosaur. The Demon King shot him a sidelong glance. You don't even know where the treasury is, do you? The hero put his hands on his hips. Don't worry, I'm fully prepared. A black-robed man stood in the corner. He stared at the distant hero and Demon King. Those bastards are monsters. I need to report this to the bishop at once. I have to get out of here immediately. The hero suddenly appeared beside him. Report what? He seized the black-robed man by the throat with one hand, swift and precise. The man struggled in terror. How did you know? The hero replied expressionlessly. Tell me where the treasury is. Or else. The black-robed man immediately changed his tone. Oh, so you're looking for the treasury. An ornate gate stood before them. The Demon King sighed. Just looking at this magnificent gate, I can already smell money. Once we pay off today's debt, we'll be even. It's been a while since I've done something I actually enjoy. Giovanni stepped forward. Right? The barrier is fine, yes? The black-robed man followed behind him. Yes, there is nothing to worry about. Magical light shimmered across the gate. This was the gate that protected the house of heaven, reinforced layer upon layer by high-ranking priests. The black-robed man smiled confidently. Even if the Pope himself came, it would still take days to force it open. A deafening crash cut him off. The hero blasted the gate apart with a single punch. 10 seconds for 4 doors. The hero shook out his hand. Good. So, where's the money? Then he suddenly froze. What is that? A figure stood in the middle of the great hall. Isn't that Namgung Joseph? The Demon King ground his teeth. The place that's supposed to have money has no money. All because of you, you bastard. Our shop got blown up because of you. But why were his eyes open so wide? The Demon King waved at Namgung Joseph. Hey, did you lose the ability to talk? Why are your eyes so wide open? The hero felt uneasy. Was something moving behind him? Behind Joseph, a pair of enormous wings slowly unfurled. The wings snapped fully open, whipping up a violent gust that rooted the two men in place. The hero's pupils narrowed. Wait, the Demon King asked bluntly. What? Are you worried about your old colleague? The hero shook his head in a fluster. No, if he dies, we won't get our money back. The Demon King said with certainty, he won't die from something at this level. Joseph was like a giant boulder. He revealed crimson eyes and sharp claws. The hero nodded. All right, looks like he won't die that easily. Suddenly, a purple light flared. The three of them plunged into a chaotic melee. The hero said to the Demon King, Isn't there something wrong with Namgung Joseph? The Demon King replied in a low voice, Seems like it. He must be under some kind of control. The hero looked at the scene before him. I don't think he can be talked down anymore. He rolled his wrists. If we keep hitting him, he'll stop eventually. The hall boomed with thunderous echoes. One black-robed man asked, What does that sound? Another answered, No idea. Giovanni looked up. Sounds like shells exploding. The wall suddenly burst apart, rubble flying everywhere. Giovanni stared in shock at the Demon King. The hero and Joseph burst through the wall as well. Giovanni's pupils widened. Is that the angel? 2 black-robed men drew their swords. Stop! Who are you people? A trace of scorn flashed through the hero's eyes. Demon King, take care of them. The Demon King lunged forward at once. Gladly, the black-robed men looked terrified. He's coming. The ground shattered. Purple light shot skyward. When the dust settled and the smoke cleared, Giovanni was on one knee. Through clenched teeth, he demanded, "Who are you? Were you sent by the association?" The Demon King grinned. "Me? I'm from the fried chicken shop." Giovanni tightened his grip on his sword hilt. What a joke. Purple light spread across the blade. The Demon King's lips curled upward. Some kind of holy power? Even so, he laughed mockingly. "Is it all you've got? It's not even enough to be a fan." Purple light exploded before him. The impact unleashed a fierce wave of air. The two were dragged into another space. Giovanni chuckled softly. "This space feels familiar, doesn't it? Baptism of Redemption was originally a basic holy art. It could display memories and soothe the hearts of believers. But I know how to use it to awaken the most horrifying memories in an opponent." He sneered. "Perhaps I should call it Baptism of Nightmares instead." He snapped his fingers. "Sink into your own nightmare." A demon folk man fell to his knees wailing. "My king, my newborn child was crushed to death under military boots." Countless demon folk knelt on the ground, shouting in unison, "Take revenge on the humans. Revenge on them." Giovanni stared at the scene before him. How was this possible? How can he hear it so clearly? The trauma is this severe. He shouldn't still be sane. A demon folk man drew a dagger, his voice trembling. "My demon king." Giovanni turned back in shock. "What?" The demon folk man's eyes were filled with zeal. "My demon king, I offer up my strength, my soul, and my heart as well. Please do not forget our anger." The demon king turned his face slightly and answered coldly, "I accept." Giovanni trembled all over. "Impossible. The demon king is dead. How can this be?" He stared at the scene in utter disbelief. The Demon King's voice sounded behind him. "Human, so you're the one behind this." Giovanni's pupils contracted. "Impossible." A look of horror crossed his face. "Is he really the Demon King?" The Demon King pressed a hand to his forehead, his body swaying slightly. Then a flash of white light cut through. The hero charged in fiercely. He steadied himself. "Looks like a few more hits should do it." "What a pain. Can't you just go down already?" Namgung Joseph's body shook violently. A growl rumbled from his throat. His eyes widened as he stared fixedly at the hero. The hero stood at a distance. "You want to keep going?" An explosion sounded from behind the wall. The hero turned his head. "What's over there?" Beneath the bandages on Namgung Joseph's face, his eyes sharpened as if sensing something. He turned and rushed off into the distance. The hero was caught off guard. "Where are you going?" A mass of purple flames surged upward. Within the fire, the Demon King's figure was reflected. Namgung Joseph's pupils instantly enlarged. Self-survival rate has reached 80%, but activation is another matter entirely. A white single, I floated inside a red container. Giovanni cried out. It opened its eyes. "It's a pleasure to meet you, Angel. My name is Giovanni. I am your creator, your father." Namgung Joseph roared. The angel's eye detached itself from his face. The white bandages fell away with it. The angel's eye shot toward the burning purple flames. Flames and energy intertwined in a violent blaze. The hero looked puzzled. It came off by itself. He looked at the Demon King. "But you're acting a little strange." The Demon King raised his head. His eyes were filled with murderous intent as purple energy erupted again. Namgung Joseph collapsed unconscious to the ground. Purple flames burned in the Demon King's eyes. "All humans must die." The hero cracked his knuckles. "Has it been so long since you got beaten up that you want to try it too?" Kong Cheol and Camilla were surrounded by monsters. Kong Cheol shouted anxiously, "Damn it, there's no end to them." "Camilla, don't tell me you don't have any plan." Camilla looked unimpressed. "No." A strong energy reaction came from afar. Camilla looked deeper into the hall. "Something's coming from that direction, and it's moving fast." The hero raised his head. Golden light burst from his eyes. Two dark shadows streaked past at extreme speed. Golden radiance blossomed and transformed into countless blades, piercing the surrounding monsters. Kong Cheol stared in shock. "Is that the boss?" The Demon King was smashed into a wall. The hero slowly lifted his gaze, his expression icy. He turned to Kong Cheol. "The boss is fighting for his life, and the part-timer is slacking off here." Kong Cheol looked aggrieved. "I almost died, okay?" The hero was unmoved. "But you're perfectly fine, aren't you?" Kong Cheol pointed at the hole in the wall. "Boss, was the one you just threw out the Demon King?" The hero nodded. "That's right." A mass of purple light glowed inside the hole. A hand opened, purple energy gathering in its palm. The hero stared in disbelief. What? Are you serious? The demon king floated upward, his body wrapped in purple energy. Kang Cheol recoiled in terror. I know that power. His eyes were full of fear. That power can turn the world to ashes in an instant. It was like divine punishment descending from the heavens. Purple energy gathered in the demon king's palm. The seventh curse, Indra, destructive energy, was reflected in his pupils.